Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Monday Night Raw. Kind of, after a fashion. There is a Monday Night Raw on, and I'll be Tom Collier, basically joining you to live through the horror that can be Monday Night Raw at times. It's a difficult time for anyone to survive what they're producing at the moment. It's not easy, but Eva Marie debuts this week, and I think we can all admit to being very excited about that. Aren't we all very excited about that? We're all very, very excited about that. And in addition to that, we'll get Drew McIntyre against AJ Styles. That's pretty good. That should be a good match. Got the New Day versus RK Bro. That's pretty good. That should be a good match. The wrestling should be good. We're also likely to see some more rematches. Jeff Hardy against Cedric Alexander. Definitely think we're going to be seeing them. It's going to be one of those shows where it could be better, but it could be worse. Of course, the most important thing is trying to work out what's going to happen next for Lily. Remember Lily? I remember Lily. I don't want to remember Lily, but we are where we are, and I remember Lily. Great. Isn't it great? Aren't you excited for Lily? Welcome to our WWE Raw Watch Along today. The beauty of it is as difficult as Raw can be to watch sometimes. Our reactions and our community enjoyment is a wonderful, wonderful thing, well worth the celebrating. And that is the major difference here. We can at least have a great time laughing at how bad it actually is. Because my word, it gets bad sometimes. Like, it gets really bad. And we know this. We only hope, anyway, pray that what we're given tonight is not awful. I mean, we know it's not going to be particularly good. But hopefully, it's not awful. And isn't that really all we're waiting for? Modfresh says, hi, good night. Well, hi and good night to you as well. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're planning to stick around for Raw, then welcome. If you are, in fact, saying good night because you're going to bed, also welcome. Also welcome. I seem to be having some technical... Connection is unstable. Well, it's not. Connection's fine. Don't know what the drama is. We are currently live on both Twitch, that is twitch.tv/Tom Collier, and we, of course, also live... Oh, no, not that one, that one. And we, of course, are also live on YouTube. YouTube has been growing quite well recently, so I thought it was a good time to bring some of our live content there. Meanwhile, on Twitch, we do live shows for Raw, SmackDown, and some gaming content on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you've got plenty of options there. Plenty of options. It really comes down to how you want to consume your content. Whether Twitch or YouTube, I got you. A big part of this, of course, is that Hell in a Cell is this weekend, and I'll be doing a dual stream for Hell in a Cell on both YouTube and Twitch. Might as well do Raw as well, every now and then. Just every now and then. In 1 minute, Raw starts. I'm not sure how we're going to open the show. I'd imagine New Day RK Bro will open. I keep wanting to say Rated RK Bro. It's definitely not. Though I could see that combination working, it's not that combination. Edge and Riddle kind of works for me. I mean, kind of. It doesn't not work for me, basically, is what I'm saying. And then over the course of the show, I'm sure we'll see a few guests join us. And we'll be able to chat away. That's the important thing. Just having people that you can chat away to. To keep it from being too dull, because there are definitely some very dull sections of Raw, as we know. Might as well take the opportunity to have a good laugh at their expense. If you missed it earlier today on Twitch, about 3 hours ago, we did Spoiler Warning, which is our weekly news show. And by weekly, I mean bi-weekly, because we do one for Monday and one for Friday. And we shared some news about Samoa Joe's new contract, the incoming tryouts after SummerSlam, the upcoming Saudi Arabia show, and more. Jay Quick says, hi, better after earlier. I am, Jay Quick, thank you. I am. I have recovered somewhat, still living in a world of gratitude, but I've recovered somewhat. And welcome, Michael. I'm very happy to see you here, considering I know you don't watch Raw. But we'll keep our actions strong to let you know that you're making the right choice. Because you are. You know that. We know that. It's the right choice. We are opening with Alexa Bliss. She must know how people hate her right now. She's wearing her dark gear. She's kayfabing the complaints. Oh God, they're opening with a recap of the least popular segment ever. Great. Just what we need. Jay Quick says, can we end this angle with Shayna and Alexa? Hopefully this week Shayna beats the crap out of the doll, rips it apart, gets rid of it, and then we move on. It's not going to, but hopefully. Welcome, Bailey. All right. Says, is Alexa approaching go away heat? People are tiring of this plotline. I don't think the problem's Alexa Bliss per se. I think it's genuinely the creative that's the problem here. I would be a lot less annoyed if this was, for example, Nia Jax instead of Shayna Baszler. But for me, the fact that this is Shayna Baszler suffering in this way, that's not right from where I'm sitting. That's not right. Michael says, would you say the Alexa and Shayna segment was worse than the Alexa and Bailey segment? This Is Your Life or whatever it was called. This Is Your Life was bad. I think back to Bobby Lashley's sisters. That was bad. There is some bad crap that goes on in WWE. Thankfully, it's mostly few and far between, but here we are. Nia Jax is approaching Alexa Bliss. This can't end well. They're having a match at Hell in a Cell. Nia Jax is trying to call her back. She called Shayna Baszler a friend. This is terrible, and I want Shayna to destroy everyone and everything. Me too. I would love that. I would love that. It's not going to happen, though. At Hell in a Cell, Shayna Baszler's almost unquestionably going to lose to Alexa Bliss and a doll. With this in mind, I did say earlier in the preview show, my expectation is that with the doll in play, given that they're having a match at Hell in a Cell, I expect the doll to debut this week. And Alexa's taken on Nia Jax, so Nia Jax is probably going to be running from the doll later. It's not a good opening, this. Alexa Bliss standing up tall to Nia Jax is just hilarious. I just think it's very brave opening with the least popular segment in years. Bowden's back. Bowden says, hi, I'm back. Won the league 12 points clear, 102 points overall. Signed Pickford for 14 million and Chowdhury for 1.5. Don't think too bad signings. Pickford will definitely go far. Chowdhury, to my knowledge, that's a Leicester one, yeah? A lot of potential there. A lot of potential. Good signings. Ed just shouts my name at me, which is his standard greeting. Welcome, Ed. Glad to see you, mate. And Michael says, I remember when Shayna dominated the Elimination Chamber, that went nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Very true. Literally, absolutely nowhere. Yeah, that's Sim. Fair enough. I can't remember his first name, but as I recall, pardon me, as I recall, defensive midfielder, good upside. As long as you've got the training facilities and you spend a bit of money on them, you'll go pretty far. Hamza Chowdhury. Got it. Thank you. And Jay Quick says, I've never rooted for Nia so bad in my life than I am tonight. I know, it's awkward, isn't it? It's awkward. I don't want to root for Nia Jax, but I am. Like, I am. Chelsea says, the pre-show was a madness. Do you mean our pre-show, mate? Do you mean the show that we did earlier, or do you mean, like, main event? Because the show we did earlier, that was a madness. That was a madness. That was insane. And I continue to be very, very humbled by everything that happened there. Megan says, can we just hope that we're done with Alexa for the night, please? Nia Jax has challenged Alexa Bliss to a match later in the night. They're not done. They are definitely not done. It looks like we're going to see Alexa in at least 3 segments tonight. That opening segment, the match with Nia Jax, and undoubtedly something involving Shayna Baszler. I don't know if we're going to see Shayna Baszler tonight, though, interestingly. And Chelsea says, yo, pre-show. For those who were not there earlier, today's spoiler warning, which is our 10 p.m. British Standard Time, 5 p.m. EST news show, went a little bit off the rails. A little bit off the rails. I had my very first hype train, thanks to the generosity of a lot of people, like a lot of people who spent bits and who gave gift subs and who enhanced and elongated their own subscriptions. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was not ready. Very nearly got very emotional on camera. It was a hell of a moment. Video on demand might be fun and worth watch. Yeah, Jay Quick, yeah. Chelsea says, doesn't seem like Raw is live tonight. I suspect it's live. I've no reason to believe it isn't. I mean, says, okay, honestly, I wasn't paying attention to Nia and Alexa, so I missed it. I get why. I get why you might not pay that much attention to it. Jay Quick says, in the words of Braun, choo choo. Yes, the Collar Hugh Express did indeed go right through Twitch. For those who don't know, we're currently streaming on 2 different services. We are on Twitch and we are also live on YouTube, where you can watch as well. If you're watching on YouTube, please do remember to click like. That does help us grow. And if you're watching on Twitch, hi. You don't have to click like, but you have many channel point options. Our opening match is Nikki Cross versus Charlotte Flair. Can't imagine Nikki Cross is going to walk out of this one still standing, as it were. This seems like the end of Nikki Cross's involvement. Matt says, did WWE realize people won't buy a doll beating someone up in front of a crowd? Nope. Instead, we get Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. The doll's going to be in play tonight. I suspect the doll will debut tonight. And Ed says, Shayna is where she is because of Becky. Yeah, probably. The plan was Shayna would be the ultimate, the final boss, as it were, the ultimate feud for Becky Lynch. That Becky Lynch wouldn't be able to beat her. Plan changed. As always, it seems. I've noticed a lot of people just immediately shot over to YouTube to click like. Thank you very much, guys. I mean, the Lana putting Lily in timeout. Possibly. I didn't catch that, Matt, because I'm 2 things at once. It's quite difficult. But possibly. It's a good spot. She did, Michael. She absolutely did. Much like Randy Orton wanted to put Bray Wyatt over, but we are where we are. Vince gets in his own way a lot. I think we're all aware of that. And it's never quite gone away. Our opening match, after 10 minutes, I'd imagine there's going to be a commercial break now, will be Nikki Cross versus Charlotte Flair. Mentioned going on the road and putting Lily in timeout. Yeah, to be fair, because she can't do the costume changes, it's going to be difficult. Lily, to my knowledge, was never supposed to be a different person. It was supposed to be a persona of Alexa Bliss. And with this in mind, if she can't do the costume changes, she can't really keep using it. Rhea Ripley's making her entrance. I'd imagine this is going to be the point at which we had a commercial break. She's just hovering. Oh, no. Nikki Cross with a roll-up. Didn't mean anything. Why is that a surprise to you, Matt? Why are you surprised she's wrestling twice? Oh, sorry, Jay Quick. Jay Quick, why are you surprised that Alexa is wrestling twice? Matt says, why are we having Rhea versus Asuka again for the 4th or 5th time? Because essentially there's no other women for her to wrestle. There's no one else. And thus we end up where we end up. This is what happens when WWE releases everyone. Particularly majority women. It's a problem. Jake says, I haven't seen her wrestle a lot lately. No, she hasn't been primarily used as a wrestler lately. She's been primarily used to essentially be the valet of Bray Wyatt. But she's coming back towards the championship. I do suspect we might end up seeing Alexa Bliss versus Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. And the best way to get there, unfortunately, is to go straight through Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Matt says, I doubt the Eva Marie match actually happens. You are not alone there. I am definitely feeling Austin versus McMahon vibes, where they teased it and they teased it and they teased it, and then Dude Love came out and beat the hell out of Austin because wrestling? Only way I can really describe it, let's be honest. Wrestling. Funny old world. So yeah, the Eva Marie match, they'll hype her entrance. I'd imagine it's going to be a draw segment with Charlotte opening the show. Maybe the second draw segment makes sense for Eva Marie, but I don't think long term she's going to be getting in the ring just yet. I think she will wrestle. I think the plan is for her to eventually wrestle, but I think it's the same way that the plan is for Scarlett to eventually wrestle. But we are where we are. Gotcha, Matt. There is a Money in the Bank in the way, but I think he'll go the distance on this one. I think ultimately there is a reason that on the Raw banner you have Charlotte, Rhea, and Alexa Bliss. It means they have a very high opinion of Alexa Bliss and expect her to be featured very prominently going forward. For those who don't know and who may be just joining us, I'm Tom Collique. I host wrestling news and watch-alongs on Mondays and Fridays and gaming content on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will be playing Football Manager tomorrow at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. British Standard Time, which is 3 p.m. EST. And in addition to that, I'll be playing Final Fantasy at the same time on Thursday. We'll also be hosting a Hell in a Cell watch party as well, so we'll be here for the pay-per-view, and you can join us on both YouTube and on Twitch as well. Megan says this will only be the fourth time Asuka and Rhea have faced each other one-on-one. Rest of the time have been tag matches. Still, I think it's quite telling that those 4 times have all happened since WrestleMania. So it may not sound like a lot, but it feels like a lot. You know, it feels like a lot. That's what I see anyway. Could be wrong. Can't speak for anyone on that one. But for me, a lot of the feuds just feel like they're taking forever and that they're dragging on and dragging on. It's not a good look for anyone involved. It's not a good thing. We're back after our first commercial break. Charlotte and Nikki Cross. No time limit this time, so I don't think Nikki Cross is picking up the win. This feud between Rhea and Charlotte seems to be a race to the bottom. Who can lose the most matches? Who can be the most embarrassed? I don't like it, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. It's bad. It's badly done. It's badly planned. I don't want it. But it's what we've got. At least Nikki Cross has been used, I think, well. I think I can call this well. She's been there purely as a spoiler to keep Rhea and Charlotte apart, that's true. But she's done so effectively, and ultimately that's all you can really ask for. If you're given a job and you do it well, what can the WWE say about you that's negative? Only positive from where I'm sitting. Now, admittedly, I don't know how Nikki feels given that her chances come on the back of a lot of releases. But hey, they kept her. They clearly have something in line for her. Or maybe after this feud, she'll be gone. I hope not. I have a lot of belief in Nikki Cross. Especially having interviewed her. Good times. At some point I'll have to share that interview. I can upload it all on StreamYard and just do it live and react to it. I'll say live. Megan says, that is why I said only because it feels like more, but that's not the case. It's just the way it's being booked. Absolutely. I get what you're saying. Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and say Nikki Cross has been used badly in this. I'm just glad she's been used, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. And the tag match of Asuka last week was good, but it wasn't about Nikki Cross and ask, why have you frozen? BT Sports frozen. Fantastic. It may end up being one of those nights. To be fair, this seems to be internet related because StreamYard's also taking umbrage with me. Don't know why. Maybe there's a storm brewing outside. Hopefully not. Bailey says, I'm a big Rhea fan, but her character development on Raw is far weaker versus how they built up Bianca on SmackDown. You're not wrong. I completely agree. I think it's one of those, she's come up and they've started tweaking. And they shouldn't. They genuinely shouldn't. Michael says, Liv wrestling Brody Jr. is the most adorable thing. Yeah, it was quite a few women got together. And Brody Jr. was there for that one. It was a good moment. It was a good moment. I did see one clickbait website stating Liv Morgan caught working with AEW star. No. One thing I do want to say as an aside, we're getting 4 women's matches tonight. 4. That's quite a lot. We're getting Eva Marie versus Naomi. We're getting Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. We're getting Charlotte versus Nikki Cross. And we're getting Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. It's been a long time since we've had 4 women's matches. And that's not even featuring the women's tag team champions, who've been conspicuous since their absence for the last 2 weeks. Fall away slam on the outside and a kip up by Charlotte. Athleticism all over it. I did not hear this, Matt. Could you tell me more, give me the source, and I'll try and react to it. I know that Vanessa Bourne was at one point underneath the mask. I believe she was under the mask at the same time Rusev was. Rusev had the chainsaw. Nikki Cross has picked up a win by countout because Charlotte got distracted by Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte's just going to go attack her now. This, for me, is mirroring Retribution. Like you just mentioned Retribution there. You've got to remember, Mason T-Bar picked up 2 wins over Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. I don't see it, Matt. Largely because I think she's seriously injured. No, Rhea Ripley says no. It's possible, but if they do that, that just means that next month they're going to run Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair again. Because it would be a time killer and someone to take a pin. I don't think there's enough time to add someone to the match, but, you know, storyline is already there. It's not the worst idea. So that's our first 20 minutes. All women so far. And now we start the build towards RK Bro versus The New Day. This was our final match last week. Kofi Kingston coming out the winner against Matt Riddle with Trouble in Paradise. After Matt Riddle tried to over Randy Orton. Oh, agreed, Michael. It is nice that the women getting some time. I mean, 4 matches is quite a bit. And they've only had 1 so far, so they'll probably get at least an hour of the 3 hours. It's a good thing. Okay. Matt Riddle is backstage with Jeff Hardy, and I don't feel this is the right thing to ever do. Those two should be kept far, far away from each other. Given what Jeff Hardy's wearing, I'd imagine him versus Cedric Alexander is coming up next. Okay. The Cedric Alexander thing's going nowhere. Jeff Hardy's taking on John Morrison. Is this the beginning of a return for Jeff Hardy? Is he actually going to get some attention for once, finally? Matt says Asuka could be added. I'm almost certain Asuka will win by DQ via Charlotte interference. Don't think Rhea versus Charlotte are going to be in a Hell in a Cell match because Rhea did not get involved. It's certainly not looking like it, is it? But then what's our women's Hell in a Cell match going to be? It's going to end up being Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler, isn't it? You know, the absolute death match. The blood feud that is Baszler versus Doll. Don't want it. Still probably going to happen. With The Miz out of action, I would expect John Morrison to just be picking up losses. Yes, Matt, but for the last 2 years, it's been one male, one female. I believe. At least. That's 3 years. No. Last year there was 2 male. Took a moment, worked it out. I hope they don't overdo this wheelchair joke, but I also know that they're going to overdo this wheelchair joke. With Miz out of play, this should be an absolute romp, and Jeff Hardy just taking down John Morrison. Yes, Michael, but at the same time in 2020, there was 2 male Hell in a Cell matches. WWE have been doing short pay-per-views for a while, mate. I think I reported on this one like months ago. That they are trying to keep pay-per-views a lot more compact in the COVID era, as it were. Which is why it was about a year ago I reported that particular piece of news. Because one of the reasons we had Payback right after SummerSlam was an offshoot pay-per-view, because they didn't want SummerSlam to be too long, so they did a second one a week later for the offshoot. It's also one of the reasons we're getting title matches on Raw and SmackDown now, instead of saving them for pay-per-views. We're seeing quite a lot of them. The thing is, Matt, I don't think anyone needs a cell match this year. I don't think anyone needs it. So it's hard to play the need card, as it were. Like, I don't think anyone needs it. Like, I get Lashley and McIntyre maybe, but the feud between Roman and Rey started last week. It literally just started last week. I can't sit here and think to myself, oh, this is definitely a feud worthy of the cell. It literally started last week. Michael does agree, though, regards that. Matt says Roman versus Jay didn't need a cell. I'd debate that one. I think the story told didn't really require the cell, but I think the actual feud did. It's just Roman's way of showing dominance. He's, after all, in charge of the company now. Right. Thank you, Megan. Megan, our stat queen. Most pay-per-views now have only around 7 or 8 matches. Very true. Also, last year was the first time since 2016 to have 3 cell matches, 2 men's, 1 women's. Very true. I believe 2016 was the same. 2 men's, 1 women's. At that point, it was Roman Reigns and Rusev. It was Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, where Chris Jericho ran into the cell. And it was the main event of Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair. Good times. Good times. First female main event of a pay-per-view in WWE, as I recall. Someone's always got to go first. That's when we found out that Sasha Banks is resistant to tables. That's true, Matt. That's true. But I think that certainly deserved and needed the cell a lot more than the Rey versus Roman feud. Ed just saying hashtag stat queen, and so we should. Tell you what, we need an emote for that, don't we? We need a stat queen emote for whenever Megan brings in one of the stats. We'll have to work something like that out. Stack Queen emo. Yeah. I can see it working. I mean, we already have Vince's in the chat. Michael says, was there any truth to Vince not wanting another women's Hell in a Cell match because Sasha didn't go through tables? Yes and no. So Vince still wanted Hell in a Cell matches. He still wanted women's Hell in a Cell, but he was also very unhappy with the finish of the match because Sasha just didn't go through the tables. If she had gone through the tables, there would have been no concern. But she didn't. She just bounced off the tables. It was a bit awkward. It's funny because if it was definitely true that Vince didn't want any more women's Hell in a Cells, he certainly wouldn't have put Sasha in them, would he? But he did. She's been in all of them so far. Mega says, I have my crown for now. You do indeed, Stack Queen, you do. The Miz has joined the commentary team, which is genuinely a big plus. We know he's very good on commentary. There has only been 3, Matt. I do feel they could do more. Charlotte versus Rhea is just an exciting idea for Hell in a Cell for me, the physicality of it. Jeff Hardy has Pyro now. Suddenly they're starting to care about Jeff Hardy, aren't they? Ed, I think Jeff Hardy takes this one. I think they're pressing reset. Yeah, I very much think they've pressed reset with Jeff Hardy, and we're expecting something very new. He got the win against Cedric Alexander, but what next for Cedric? It's possible, Matt. It's possible. Given that they've essentially stopped burying him, it could be the case that now he has finally re-signed with the company. Sorry, what happened there? Oh, the dripstick. Morrison spat some water into his eye. Well, this match, they've got to make sure that Jeff Hardy has a lot of time to recover. The dripstick is not just a thing, it's going to be a major thing. And I don't like it. And it's been, what God was it? Patented? It's been trademarked. The phrase dripstick has been trademarked, so you know they're selling them. You know they're selling them. 100%, you're going to be able to buy a dripstick in no time. I do, Matt. I do remember Damian Priest. Still time, but this is one of those wonderful times. Cedric Alexander is making his entrance now. Guessing looking for some sort of revenge on Jeff. Maybe that's not the story. Maybe this is all about Cedric Alexander after all. Yeah, it was the week after WrestleMania Backlash. I reported, and it's there on YouTube as evidence for anyone who doesn't believe. I reported that there was definite confusion as to how to push Damian Priest and a worry that he might fall into creative hiatus. He did. He did. So if Cage Side Seats had reported that, then 6 months on, they'd have been saying, yep, definitely true. AJ is back. Welcome, AJ, mate. How you doing? How are you? Welcome to the show. And Bailey says, RE drip. How often would you use a phrase like RE drip? And yet, here we are. Funny old world. Seems Seth Rollins is using it as well. The drip, yes. Not necessarily the drip stick, though. King of drip style. We live in a horrible world, guys. A horrible, horrible world. As it seems like Triple H has the power to bring people back. Most people in the WWE have the power to do that, as long as they can make them sign a contract that just doesn't give them the same amount of money. Samoa Joe signed a new contract for a lot less money. There's a lot more details on that. You can watch that video on demand on twitch.tv/Tom Colohue, or you can wait for it to pop up on YouTube over the next few days as well. I will be editing spoiler warning down into video clips for YouTube and as well for TikTok, because I have got it on good advice from Chelsea, who is a member of our community here, that I should be taking the hype train. That's John Morrison's finisher. Bye, Jeff. Yeah. So yeah, maybe the push isn't happening for Jeff Hardy. Yeah, Jeff's going to be putting Cedric over. The legend of the respect that you deserve. Matt says, week 3 of Jimmy Smith, how are people taking him? I can't hear him much. He fades into the background, but every now and then I catch a phrase and I like it. I think is an improvement on Adnan Virk, but not an improvement on Tom Phillips. If they turned on Cedric's music, but Jeff's grabbed a microphone, I don't think that's in script. Um, Jeff's going to win this, right? Surely Jeff's going to win this. This is just to tease people. Thank you, AJ. If you have anything to say about the wrestling, by all means, jump in on that. It's a fair question, Matt. It's a fair question. We've basically, when it comes to the gatekeepers and the like, the legends, as it were, who were just sort of there. Yeah, you see a lot of this. You see a lot of this, and it is a bit too much. It says, bye-bye, Jeff. Surely he's winning this. Like, surely. I can't imagine he's going to go that way. Like, this would be the most understated thing in the world. This can't be the way it goes down. I can't see it going this way. I know I've been reporting on this one for a while, but at the same time, this is a disrespectful way to go if it happens. Surely it would just be a case of, you know, if they were going to do this, he'd do it after a win. If he was going to lose, he'd have the win, then the loss, rather than a loss and then another loss. John Morrison's kind of pointless in all this. He was just there. Just an extra body. He doesn't gain anything from it. Admittedly, Cedric would have the opportunity to say, I retired Jeff Hardy. Fair, Ed. I might do that. I might do that. That's a good call. Check on Ella. Oop. Missed one. I'll get back to you, Matt. Noob says, hello, Mr. Cole. Hugh, looks like we've got Charlotte lose to Nikki Cross due to count out, which makes the build-up for the Raw Women's title match this Sunday is going to be terrible. It's been terrible. It is terrible. It will be terrible. I think we can all agree on that. And Matt says, I mean, WWE isn't appreciating Jeff Hardy's talent anyway. True. Maybe he is retired here, and then Willow debuts next week with no more words. Maybe that. They've definitely found a way to maintain interest, because I don't think many people are turning off if there's an opportunity, if there's a chance we're seeing Jeff Hardy's last match in the WWE. I don't think many people would turn off with that in mind. That is exactly how I feel about Kana, by the way. But yeah, I totally get that. That would just end up being someone to job to the Fiend is the issue. I think we all know that. Right, okay. Surely Jeff's going to win this. Jeff's going to win this. Rhea Ripley isn't just there, noob. I wouldn't go that far. She's not really hit the heights, as it were, but she can only work with the creative she's given. I don't think she's just there. This match won't be long either. At most, it'll be 10, 15 minutes. Welcome back, Chelsea. Chelsea, if Jeff loses, I need to know what he did to piss off Vince. It's a good question. It's a good question. It might just be that he wants to go if he loses. I don't think he's going to lose, but it might just be that he wants to go. I don't think that's too incredulous. I'm a little bit glued to it. I think this is a ratings grab, to be honest. This is just a way to make sure people aren't turning off. That's what I'm thinking. I thought for a while that Jeff Hardy will go back to wherever Matt Hardy is sooner rather than later. It's been a while since I've had any updated info, to be honest. He may have signed something new now. He's selling well with the limp. He's doing what he can for Cedric. I don't think this does great things for Cedric if after 3 matches with Shelton Benjamin, he loses twice to Jeff Hardy. It really defines him quite low down, considering how defined down Jeff Hardy is, of course. But Cedric's gone for the top rope. This gives Jeff Hardy a chance to come back into the match. Oh, he went for the swanton. Silly. Silly. Jimmy Smith just said it. So some fight left in the Old Warrior. Old Warrior, not the phrase to use, but okay. There's the Twist of Fate. Swanton next, and that'll be that. Good shout from Megan. All this needs is Morrison to come back out and help Cedric get a DQ win. Job done. Yeah, that's literally all it requires, but it's not going to happen that way. Jeff Hardy was not losing this one. I think they were just teasing fans who thought that this was happening. Bailey says, will there be a pre-show Sunday? Are there any likely candidates for a pre-show match? There will be a pre-show. Likely candidates are limited. I think there may be another New Day versus RK Bro match, for example. But that's all I would personally expect in that regard. Right, with this in mind, it looks like this is a relaunch for Jeff Hardy. So he may have signed something new. We moved on very quickly. Essentially a highlight reel for Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley as champion has been moderately well featured, but over the last few weeks, it's all been about Drew McIntyre. To Lashley's detriment, I feel. I'd like to see him get back in the ring at some point. Chelsea nailing it, absolutely hitting the nail on the head. Journalists were just waiting for Jeff to lose to post a first exclusive. Matt, it wasn't a waste of time. It wasn't a waste of time. It played with the emotions of the fans. That's the point of it. It played with the emotions of the fans, which is valuable. That's what this is supposed to be. It's what wrestling is supposed to be. It's supposed to pull at your heartstrings. It made people doubt just for a moment. And if we then, from here, go into a decent push for Jeff Hardy, like a rebirth, as it were, pushing reset, as I said earlier, it's a good moment. Also, I'd imagine Jeff Hardy is very, very happy about that. Okay, the highlight reel is now basically just what happened last week. I never like this. Like, imagine if you did watch last week. I watched last week. I'm bored of this. This is no interest to me. Brinty is here, a new name for me. Welcome, Brinty. Glad you could join us. Welcome to the YouTube. We do regular shows here. YouTube gets a lot of news videos, daily news videos, in fact. And we are currently doing a live Raw watch party. We will also be doing a live watch party for Hell in a Cell. So you are welcome to subscribe, and you are welcome, of course, to jump in with any questions you have or any reactions to Raw that you would like. Welcome to the show. Matt says, according to Fightful Select, Selena De La Renta was spotted at the WWE Performance Center on Monday. She was there training. It was not noted what she did exactly, but there are a few possibilities. I found it very interesting how much of Fightful Select stuff is now literally someone at the Performance Center saying, oh, this person was there. This person was there. But they don't know what they were doing. I'm starting to suspect they've made friends with someone who lives across the road from the Performance Center, who just literally sits there with a pair of binoculars watching everything that's happening. That's the feeling I'm starting to get there. Thank you for bringing the news, Matt. Okay, now that we've got past all of that recap, it's Naomi versus Eva Marie. Oh, Naomi's got fans? I want to say fans. She got fans. Oh, God, that was a long time ago. 2018, she won the Women's Battle Royal. That was a long time ago. Michael says the match we've all been waiting for. Kind of, yes, actually. It's hard to argue with that. Both Naomi and Eva Marie have been trending. Ed's very excited. Eva Marie is about to make her return. We're going to work out what the hell is happening with it. True, Matt. True. Did absolutely nothing. But that's the thing. They only remember Naomi exists for the first half of the year, and then second half she vanishes again. I'm sure she'll vanish again in a couple of months. After SummerSlam, we won't see her again until the Royal Rumble, when she makes a big surprise return. But it's not a surprise. It happens every year. I don't know why people would be surprised by it. For those who don't know, this show is being broadcast live on both Twitch and indeed on YouTube. We tried it last week to do Raw on YouTube as well, and it was pretty good success. A pretty good success. So I thought I'd stick with it again. See what people make of it. See if people enjoy the show. See what the feedback is. If it becomes a regular thing, then it becomes a regular thing. I do still have a StreamYard until September after all. I paid for it, bought and paid for. So that'll be cool. And in the meantime, we do, of course, still have plenty of people on Twitch where we are at 203 followers. We apparently lost one from this show earlier. Somebody didn't like what they were seeing, apparently. Well, we have 203 followers, and we're looking to build as that goes. Thank you very much, Chelsea. Much appreciated. Chelsea sending 22 bits and another 16 bits. Thank you very much, sir. Very much appreciated. You've been very generous. Another 20 bits. You're being very, very generous. I very much appreciate it. Oh, you're still going. I have to scroll. You're going for the Call Hugh Express again, are you? Another 15 bits. Thank you very much, Chelsea. Really do appreciate that. I do have hype trains on the cheapest possible option. Hype trains activate when 3 different people either give 1 subscription, 1 gift subscription, or 100 bits. That is the cheapest option for hype trains. We had our very first hype train earlier. Our very first hype train earlier, and it got to level 4. So a huge thanks to everyone who jumped in there. Chelsea with 32 more bits, overtaking that 100. And another 27. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. And another 12. That's basically my entire screen on my phone now. 15. 15 more bits. Thank you very much. And another 16. The entire chat's just bit. At this point, if you look on the thing, it comes up like this, which is quite fun. In order to keep track of what's going on, I'll put it on my phone, and you'll see, Chelsea, that you're everything now. You're everything. It's all you. All you. Bits upon bits upon bits. Thank you very much, sir, for your continued generosity and for just showing that you're enjoying the show. Thank you very much. Very glad to see you. Very glad. If you're watching on YouTube, please do remember that you can click like on the video. That will help us grow as well, help us find a new audience, help new people find this show. And that'll be a big help for when we go live for Hell in a Cell. Thank you very much for your generosity, Chelsea. Plenty of bits rolling in. Thank you very much. Let's have a quick check of the chat. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Megan says, can't wait to see crowds during mini raves, having mini raves during Naomi's entrance again. That'll be pretty cool. And as regards Naomi in this position, Matt says, well, they fired her tag partner, so why bother? They still have to use her. I mean, she's there, so you may as well use her. And AJ says, hey AJ, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. It says, crap, now I need to actually pay attention to Raw since I'm recapping it. Are you recapping it, Ed? Where are you recapping it? Oh, you're on Love Wrestling tonight, are you? Are you on Love Wrestling tonight? If so, plug yourself. Right, who's she got with her? That is Piper. Yeah, Eva Marie is not wrestling. Piper Niven has debuted on Raw. So the rumors were true. Naomi's about to get beaten up. Oh, Chelsea, I didn't know you didn't know that. Sorry, mate. I should have let you know that. The other girl is indeed Piper Niven of NXT UK. I've interviewed Piper. Still got the audio. Lovely girl. Lovely girl. She likes her leather jackets and also very much likes the pins that she can get in them. She has a Red Dwarf pin. I remember picking that one out when we were chatting. I'll pull the audio for you guys. I know I keep saying that about stuff, but I'll pull the audio for you guys. AJ says, I wanted Eva. Eva apparently not going to wrestle. Who reported Niven? WrestleVotes said it was either Mercedes Martinez or Piper Niven. So it was WrestleVotes. Chelsea, I'd have to download it, edit it, cut it, and then upload it to StreamYard. So unfortunately not at the moment, but I can put it into our Friday video. Very true, Bailey. Very true. The announcers clearly don't watch their show. Eva Marie takes credit for that win. I mean, she didn't, but also Naomi just got squashed. Like genuinely squashed. So we have an NXT call-up, an NXT UK call-up, an NXT call-up nonetheless. Piper Niven added to the show. We're now seeing Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose backstage. A very women-centered show so far. Alady John, welcome to the show, says, why Naomi? Lack of alternatives, basically, is why that's happened. They just didn't have anyone else to line up against her to take the pin because they've either released them or they're involved in completely different feuds. Everyone else is either wrestling Charlotte, wrestling Asuka. We've now got something going on with Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose and our women's tag team champions, who we're finally seeing again. So yeah, I agree with Michael here. Naomi does deserve better than that. And Matt accused Eva of being Emelina 2.0, and he's not wrong. It's absolutely not wrong. Looks like we may be getting our women's tag championship match tonight, which means we'd have 5 women's matches. Decent from Mandy Rose. The match did happen, Aladi John. The match did happen. The match is now over. Eva Marie did not wrestle. Someone else wrestled for her. Piper Niven from NXT UK. Chelsea just says beef. I get what you're saying. Just a big fight breaking out backstage. In a wrestling ring, though. It's nice that they always have a wrestling ring backstage, just for in case a fight breaks out. It is our first hour draw segment. The New Day will take on RK Bro. Randy Orton's been the first hour draw segment for a while now. He's clearly considered one of the big stars in the company. Kofi Kingston has also been considered one of the big stars of the company. So this particular feud is working well for all of them. Working well for everyone involved. I agree with what you're saying there, Michael. Carmella is basically an Emelina character. But I think at this point, any diva type character is being compared to Emelina. There's a space for divas in wrestling. Eva Marie is very clearly a diva. Eva was there, she just didn't wrestle. She was there as a manager. Just didn't get in the ring. We have another commercial break. That says via SRS, the pitch name for Piper Niven has been Dewdrop. That's terrible. Like that. Yep, that's terrible. Oof. Can't imagine that'll make her too happy, but if that's the name, that's the name. I suppose she's stuck with it. I wouldn't be stuck with that. Well, it's definitely been a very eventful first hour. Can't argue with that. I said that's retribution levels are bad. You ain't wrong. I definitely can't disagree there. And Bailey says that's the worst name since Chili McFreeze. That's some bad shit. Matt says now we know Mercedes is sticking with NXT and going to keep feuding with Tian Sha. Seemingly. I mean, there were definitely suggestions of that last night. A takeover. I'm going to drop my pad. I'm just going to put this on the side. Don't know why I've got it on my knee. Probably shouldn't. But yeah, there were definite suggestions of that, so it makes sense. John says, why would they show videos of her in a ring like she was going to wrestle? To piss us off, basically. That's the vibe I get from it. That us being wound up is kind of what they were going for. That's the vibe I get. I think as much as anything, like, she's clearly a heel, and because she's a heel, the ideal situation for her is to not wrestle in that one. Just really make it firm and clear that she's there managerially. But the idea that she's going to push to the face, nah, I definitely don't see that. And Matt believes that he would rather see Mercedes wrestle in NXT than on the main roster, feuding as she is. Mercedes Martinez, to my knowledge, obviously, as we know from when she was working Retribution, requested to go back to NXT. So there's just no interest in taking her back to the main roster at this point. Just no interest. I get it. Like, I get it. It depends what you mean by presented as a face. I think it's a typical heel trick to be deluded and to think that they're a face, even though they're clearly a heel. I don't see her being presented as a face. I see her being presented as a heel, but she thinks she's a good guy. But that's pretty common amongst heels. It's not a new thing. Yeah, I don't see a face presentation here. Drew McIntyre being interviewed backstage. The way Raw have been doing things recently, on the end of the first hour, they interview one of the main event competitors, and on the end of the second hour, they interview the other one. It's not enough to hype the main event, but it's what they do. Ed says, anyone who wants a post-show, I'll be on Love Wrestling CA Twitch sometime after Raw. Ed, I believe you will be live and in person on video, face and everything. Tell us more. Are you excited? Will it be a big panel? How many people are there? Tell us more, mate. Tell us more. Matt says, that's what I mean. She'll be a delusional face. Yeah, it's not being presented as, but she definitely thinks she'll be the good guy. McIntyre is talking about Scottish people being great tacticians. He probably should have told his football team. They lost today. They didn't look good. It's fair. I feel like I've just been slapped. It's fair. It's fair. I said, imagine Volta debuting on this show, announcers having to pretend they have no idea who he is. They'd call him Seymour or some such name. Don't be against the idea of suddenly Seymour. I could do that. I could definitely do that. Let's imagine Bobby Lashley beats Drew McIntyre and then suddenly Seymour is standing beside him. He could be like Eva Marie, be a motivational speaker, and people will be like, suddenly Seymour has shown me I can. That's all I'm saying. Don't sell Seymour short. Please tell me someone got that. Ed says, it looks like it'll be the Canadian Goose and myself. Excited, but now writing down some notes. Yeah, keep track as best you can. A lot happens on Raw, and you forget most of the crap, which is quite a lot of it recently. Recapping and reviewing. It's not easy. I haven't scared Megan off, considering I think she's the only person who will get what I just did very, very well. And so, at the beginning of the second hour, New Day versus RK Bro. And to be honest, it's been compelling TV. It's been an interesting first hour. Eva Marie's debut, short and sweet. Admittedly, Naomi got battered for it, so not the greatest for her, but short and sweet regardless. Lots of women featured. Nikki Cross picks up a win over Charlotte Flair. Jeff Hardy nearly retired. That was a thing. Didn't expect that one. So it's certainly been eventful. I like that the New Day are rocking out to Randy Orton's theme as well. The only person not rocking out to Randy Orton's theme is Randy Orton himself. Never trust the Viper. It's that simple. This is starting to feel like Jericho and Owens. You know the betrayal's coming. You just don't know when. Yes, Matt, I've reported that one myself as well. I've been reporting on the calls for a couple of weeks. I think there's been other people reporting it. Makes sense. It definitely sounds like a Kazarian report. Matt Ridley's really enjoying Randy Orton's theme. He's starting to get over with me. What can I say? He's just so excited to do the pose. Bless him. They are, Matt. There will be more. As I've mentioned, the big name call-ups, they'll happen in the draft after Survivor Series. That's when the big names will come. In the meantime, there'll be a number of people lower down the card who'll be called up themselves. Just quietly, moderately quietly, no big fanfare. They'll just appear, like Boogs, like Niven. There'll be more. I'd imagine Kaylee Ray will get some fanfare. And we are away on New Day versus RK Bro. RK Bro have definitely been one of the most entertaining aspects. Oh no, that's me saying that, Matt. That's me saying that NXT are in the draft. Yeah, RK Bro have definitely been one of the most entertaining aspects of Raw recently, and I like that they're rolling with it. They're giving them plenty of airtime. They're giving them plenty of character development, and they're giving them a really good opponent in the New Day. It's compelling TV. They've put together something good here. If people sit down and say, okay, nothing on Raw is good, you point them to this and they say, oh no, you're right. They accept it. It's certainly a very good thing for Matt Riddle, of course, who's still relatively new to the main roster, and you cannot say that they've screwed up Matt Riddle. Not in any way. He had a quiet start, but he got rolling when he won the United States Championship. He has easily had the most benefit from Keith Lee's injury. Much like, in fact, Kofi Kingston had the most benefit from Mustafa Ali's injury. It's an unfortunate thing, but it does happen. Bella says Piper has already been added to the Raw roster on Wikipedia. Has she been added by her current name or the other name that she's apparently being given? Current name. Got it. Hopefully they stick with it. Because the other one's been suggested. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's a big moment for Piper. She spent no time in NXT. She skipped NXT entirely. She went from NXT UK straight up to Raw. That's a strong call-up. Megan said, I would honestly love it if all three rosters were in the draft. Could make things very interesting. I'm confident there won't be a lot of movement downwards, as in down to NXT, but there'll be a lot called up. And I do think there'll be a bit of a shuffle around. Someone says, is Drew versus AJ the main event or Nia versus Bliss? My expectation is that Drew versus AJ is going to be our main event. However, Nia Jax versus Bliss will probably still be in the third hour. That's my expectation. That says Kaylee Ray is another one I can see skipping NXT. I agree. I agree that that's likely. I think she will be skipping NXT and probably going straight to SmackDown. But they do then need to get a few faces on SmackDown. Not enough faces. Another reason I would be looking at the Bayley versus the Bayley for Asuka swap. I think Asuka versus Kaylee Ray, very strong feud potential there. Same with Sasha versus Kaylee Ray. We just know that's going to deliver. London Campbell, hell of a name. Welcome to the show. Says, I don't care what anyone says. I love seeing Eva back, and I think it's a good idea for her and Piper to be a team. I think this is sort of the best possible situation to come out of this. Eva Marie, as we know, is unpopular. We know her wrestling style is not popular in any way, shape, or form. So doing this in a way that gains her a lot of heat and then transfers it to someone like Piper, I think that's probably the best way you could really look at this. Chelsea says, does Randy just speak to Kofi in the corner? He did. At a guess, I would say he was basically saying, we need to go to commercial break. Do you know what you're doing? I saw Kofi nod a little bit at him as well. Matt says, Toni Storm is someone I said who could have skipped NXT back in 2020. Didn't happen, and now she's just kind of there on NXT. I would expect her to get a call-up, but it just doesn't seem like the WWE are that focused on pushing her. And Chelsea says, at least they made her a heel. At least they did. And that's the thing. You grow fast when you're a heel, but you're more popular, obviously, when you're a face. You make more money. So it's really down to you as a performer. Do you want to grow fast or do you want to make money? What would your choice be? Because obviously the faster you grow, the quicker you make money. But then you could you'd not be making money at the time. A lot goes on. Sorry, guys. It is just past 2 a.m. here. So apologies for any yawning. Also, I'm watching Raw, so apologize for any yawning. Noob says they're shocked that that Piper Niven, an NXT UK star, made her main roster debut. She did. Imagine how much of a surprise that would have been if it hadn't been reported. That's all I'm saying. Would have been great. Would have loved it. Someone says, when Keith comes back, what do you think he'll be doing? I think he'll be charging straight headfirst into Sheamus for that United States Championship feud, to be honest. And I think that'll be one hell of a feud. And Matt says, Piper Niven is another talented woman on a very thin Raw roster. This is why there'll be more call-ups. This is why there'll be more call-ups. I suggested Santos Escobar getting called up. I think that's a good shout. All of Legado del Fantasma could do really well, I think, just as long as they don't do the WWE thing and just make them another Lucha House Party. I think there's potential there. Escobar versus Ricochet is a matter that's way overdue in WWE. Way overdue. I think there's quite a lot of people in NXT main roster ready, to be fair. Quite a lot of people who are fully deserving of the chance. I'd imagine quite a lot of people are going to be tuning into NXT tomorrow. Because ultimately, let's be honest, especially with the news that's been spoiled and leaked about it, it certainly got a lot of people very excited. They do, Matt. This is why Rey Mysterio is getting the push as it is, and this is why Bad Bunny was used as he was. They definitely are working on that market. With that in mind, I'd imagine Escobar would probably go to Raw. And TakeOver was decent. It wasn't world-beating. By its own standards, it was actually quite bad. By like the standards of TakeOver, just because TakeOver is that good. Riddle and Orton are starting to get some tag team moves. I mean, it sucked. But practice makes perfect. Matt Riddle basically just completely missed his target there. But it's a nicely physical match. Randy Orton's in now, so it's slowing way down. Randy does love his rest holds. WWE pushing Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Quite a lot of wrestling matches for the rest of the night, I tell you that. You've got Asuka, Rhea Ripley. You've got AJ versus Drew McIntyre, of course. You have Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. There's a lot going on. A lot going on right now. This is what you need to do if you want to keep hold of people. If you want to keep viewers. The 5-0 was a lot of fun. And I'll pick out what Ed is saying here. Agreed, by TakeOver, it wasn't great, but was a quality wrestling show. It's difficult for me to rate shows like that because I've got to be honest. I was listening on TV, but not really because it was turned way down. I couldn't have it on the audio because I didn't want to have the audio in the stream. So it was just, okay, great wrestling is happening. But when the audio's down as well and you don't know all of the characters, it's difficult for me as a non-NXT regular to really judge. I just know that I really enjoyed most of the wrestling. Xavier Woods is building up to a hot tag. Kofi Kingston, as we know, is the star of the New Day now. I say now, he always has been. And Xavier Woods and Big E have been trying to make that happen for a long time. If you're a regular up, up, down, down watcher, you'll know that Xavier Woods is a huge Randy Orton fan. A huge Randy Orton fan. Yeah, it's almost like Cross knew the finish, isn't it? It's almost like he knew the finish. Just a quick reminder, if you are watching on YouTube, please do remember to click like. That helps me grow and helps me find a new audience and a new target market here. So please do remember to click like if you have popped over to YouTube at any point. We are approaching halfway through Raw. So far, it's been all right. I'd actually recommend this. I'd suggest that people watch it. Corey Graves just said ale to slip out the backside. Don't think that's what he meant. But Kofi Kingston's tagged in. He is taking on Randy Orton. Logically, Matt, I'd say someone new. I don't know who that might be, but I'd say someone new. Oh, fucking course there are. Menga says every decent person deserves friends like the New Day. Yes, they do. Non-decent people, like the ones fat-shaming Piper on Twitter, need to get in the nearest bin and stay there. Of course, there are dickheads already on that train. For fuck's sake. Does everyone here know that Piper Niven also helps run a charity? Everyone know that? The shit that people give, especially from behind the keyboard where they can't get it back. People are abusive, people are bullies. And when anonymity is possible, that's all they become. It's disgusting. Matt Riddle nearly got the pinning combination there. Randy Orton playing defense, keeping Xavier Woods out of the ring. They're working really well together. Randy Orton's feeling it. We have another commercial break. Quite a long match this so far. Quite a long one. It will do, Matt. It happened to Kevin Owens for years. There are still people, there are still wrestling media who jump on and say, well, Vince doesn't like Kevin Owens because he's big. There is no evidence of it and plenty of evidence to the contrary. Plenty of evidence to the contrary, but people still jump on that train just because it's clickbait. They get clicks off it. People don't give a shit about evidence. People only give a shit about what someone's telling them because they're not willing to actually think for themselves. That's the world we live in. They'll take every opportunity to abuse someone just on the stroke of a guess. Because they can hide their face and pretend they're the hero. Matt says, I really like Jimmy Smith explaining what Matt Riddle needed to do to make the hold more effective and how Woods was fighting that. Little things like that are key. Yeah, someone who knows what they're talking about is always giving lots of little bits of information. Samoa Joe was always great at that. Do you remember Samoa Joe? Whatever happened to that guy? Got released and he was never heard from again. Oh well, not the only one. Braun Strowman. Who's heard of that guy since? Crazy times. Crazy times. Ed, how is the note-taking going? I'm excited. I'm excited to watch back and see how you do with the recap. I do feel RK Bro is a shoe-in to win this match. They seem like the obvious choice. Wouldn't be at all surprised. Megan, you are welcome to rant as much as you would like here. You are part of the family. Your opinions are as valid as anyone else's here. So you want to rant, you go right ahead. I will never take that platform away from you. If I had a website, I'd be saying to you, write an opinion piece. I'll push it to the goddamn moon. And I would. Because it's bullshit. It is absolute bullshit that this is happening to someone. Braun was murdering a poor soul on Twitter last night. Braun's on fire at the minute. It's going to work against him. It's going to work for him for fans, but it'll work against him for bookings. Then it was probably too far. But it could be a situation like, I don't know the details of it, so it could be a you get what you give. I don't know. Wait and see. Basically, a lot of people have given Braun a lot of shit for no real reason. We have a recap of the end of SmackDown. Rey Mysterio challenging Roman Reigns to Hell in a Cell, which has been accepted by good old Talking Smack. Megan says, I won't because I need to sleep at some point. Also have an appointment on Wednesday. I need to save my energy. You save your energy then. That's fair enough. I fully concur that it is utter bullshit that people essentially need to walk through fire. And by fire, I mean the fans of the product to actually get there. That's where we are now. It's a case of, okay, well, you could support your favorite. Yeah, I support my favorite by attacking every other fucker for every slight perceived imperfection. Because I'm perfect. No, you're not. Are you fuck? Get the hell away. Match is still ongoing. We've had a superplex. Kofi Kingston hitting a splash on Riddle. The camera didn't quite hide the fact that Orton was charging in there. It's going a bit tornado tag now. So Randy Orton threw Xavier Woods out the ring. Xavier Woods went all the way out and then realized, wait, Randy does a draping DDT. I better get back up. Quite funny. I agree, Megan. Agreed. But I'll read out as you say. Basically, plus size women get so much crap, and I'm sick of it so much. Women don't need to have bodies like Charlotte or Carmella to be worth something. They do not. Very well said. A good person's a good person. You gotta stop attacking people for physicality. As with anything, what you like don't matter. Doesn't matter. Literally completely irrelevant what you like. People do, Matt. People do. And do we have the names of any of these people? No. Do we get to see any of these people to see if maybe they are clearly unhappy with their own bodies? Can't see them. No. Will these people ever say this to Bray Wyatt's face? No. Online abuse is one of the biggest signs of cowardice because you're literally unreachable. You're not afraid of any return. What people need to do is report the fuck out of them. That's what needs to happen. I'm sure quite a few of you will have seen what happened with Brian Zane recently. He came under severe attack from a complete cunt. Complete cunt. I said I wish people would have learned after what happened to Hana Kimura, but apparently not. Yeah, they didn't. And the thing is, it doesn't surprise me. What I've seen from a lot of people, particularly in wrestling, people think what happened with Hana Kimura was isolated incident. It wasn't. It wasn't. It happens all the time. All the time. It's not unusual. People don't learn shit. Matt Riddle trying to physically overpower Xavier Woods over the top rope. Xavier Woods with a reversal into an electric chair. Trying to call for Kofi. Doomsday device? Ah, the double stomp. Saxton overplayed the finish there. Gave away. It says Randy and Matt really feel like a tag team right now. They do. They've got a few moves. They're working together. They're moving together. They look like a unit. They look like a unit. Yes. Michael saying people literally follow wrestlers on Twitter and Instagram for the sake of talking shit to them. That's exactly it, yeah. Exactly it. Absolutely disgusting. I am very glad to see that the police nowadays are getting a lot more involved. And if you're throwing, for example, racist abuse out at people on Twitter, doesn't matter what name you're hiding behind, they'll come get you. Or at least they'll try. A lot of people know about VPNs nowadays. As says Riddle's kick out was hilarious. Yeah, it's basically a big pelvic thrust. I always like them. Riddle tagged in. Reverses the RKO. Good attempted cover. We're approaching a half-hour mark on this match. It's been very good. Oh, lovely. That's got to be it. Randy's proud of that one. You can tell Randy's proud of that one. You can see the hype on his face. Oh, it's an adorable little face. Yeah, you can like two people, mate. You can like two people. There is no question that they're heading towards the championships. I expect our SummerSlam match to be AJ Styles and Omos versus RK Bro. And I think Styles is losing that championship along with Omos. I don't think Omos is taking the pin. I don't think he's even getting in the ring. But I do think Styles will be taking the pin for the team. You just know that they planned that spot out weeks in advance to make sure they get the memorable RKO. A memorable RKO is a career maker. Look what happened with Seth. Hit the RKO. He was the champion by the end of the night. That's what happens when you take a great RKO. Orton is just dripping. That is the wettest man I've ever seen. Oh, Ed, you poor guy. You were not prepared all the way. Well, halfway through, Raw's been good. Yeah, Raw's been good. Same. I still would have loved to see the in the feud of AJ Styles, the springboard 450 into an RKO. They tried, didn't work, but they tried. It didn't quite. They didn't stick the landing in rehearsals. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. They tried. She picked the right moment for the riptide, Rhea Ripley. Waited for Charlotte to be exposed in just the right way, with the arm available through the leg. Got there very quickly. It was well played. Rhea Ripley is backstage. I'd imagine she's up next. I don't know what light there is to shed. Basically, the whole storyline is that both of these women are losers. That's not something I'm going to get behind. I like the rainbow in Rhea Ripley's nails. Asuka is making her entrance. We have a new 24/7 championship winner in Megan Sittin. Let's redeem that one for you. A VIP for Megan. And an un-VIP for our previous champion, Corey MLB, who is not with us right now. Megan sneaks up and takes that opportunity as soon as it's presented to her. Bit of cold fury there, bit of cold fury. I did not see that, Matt. I did not see it. I'll have to look it up after this. That is a nice mask. Logically, Asuka should win this on the basis that Rhea Ripley is losing every match. You know, if our entire feud is two losers, works for me. Right, of course she did. Good timing. Corey MLB has joined us, bringing a raiding party with him. Welcome, Corey. Welcome to the show. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Welcome. Monday Night Raw so far has been okay. Like, I've enjoyed it. I am not regretting my choice to watch tonight. Strange as it is. Oh, there has been another change. I'll be right with you, Michael, for that one. But there has been another change. So, Megan, unfortunately, I have to take your VIP away because we have a new 24/7 champion in Noob & Co. Which is... Your name, Noob, is a difficult one. Hopefully this works. Yeah, I nailed it. Okay, I nailed it. We've also had a summon for Shane McMahon from Michael Latina, so here goes. We need 3 of these, as you all know, I'm sure, to actually bring Shane to the show. So our first one of the day. Here comes the money. The best in the world. Shane McMahon. Michael wants it. He wants it bad. He's bringing all the Shanes. He wants it bad. And we've got a brand new 24/7 champion once again. So I need to un-VIP Noob & Co. Hopefully Noob, you said something during that time, so you got to enjoy being a VIP. But unfortunately, I had to take it away now because Corey has regained his 24/7 championship. Corey, you once again have your diamond. For anyone watching on YouTube, we do have channel point options on Twitch, which is what's happening right now. And we have just been hijacked 60 seconds talking about our favorite wrestler, Byron Saxton. And I've got to start by saying, never seen the man wrestle. What I have seen the man do is spend a lot of time on commentary. I've seen briefly some of his work down in NXT when it was still FCW, very briefly in a tag team with Corey Graves, I believe it was at the time, and a few promos alongside AJ Lee. But really the only thing I know for Byron Saxton is his time on that commentary desk, where he has been there. He has been incredibly there. He has been phenomenally present at the desk, to a point where my favorite memories of him all seem to involve him saying words and saying words in a particular order, which, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Byron Saxton, for me, is not someone who's ever going to particularly stand out, but he is someone who the WWE seem to actually really quite like because he's been in all the commentary teams. For me, he's just not very good. He's just not very good. Gonna sneeze. Pardon me. I'm okay, thanks, Corey. I'm aware of the VIP thing, but I'm very happy having one 24/7 champion. We don't all need to be champions, mate. We don't all need to be champions. Because then the championship don't mean that much. Ed saying about Byron Saxton, he had such a shit finisher. What is his finisher? What is his finisher? But yeah, I do agree there. His work during Kofi Mania was perfection. He put a lot of himself into that. There was a lot of genuine moments, a lot of passion. Don't know where you're going with that, Matt. Why is that a thing? Why is that an oh no? I don't understand. I mean, Becky does. I don't know if she does anymore, to be fair. Rhea Ripley is making her entrance. She is the Raw Women's Champion, for anyone who's forgotten. Sometimes I do. Don't really think we need to know what you're seeing on your timeline, mate. Dirty bastard. So Asuka has beaten Charlotte Flair recently. Like, properly. What are you doing, Ed? Why are you posting YouTube links? I do not understand. What are you doing? Ah, I see. Gotcha. Not going to watch it right now, but I'll stack it up to check it later. Because ultimately my laptop won't be able to handle it. So while we've had this match or some incarnation of it several times, I still think these two have decent chemistry. And I still enjoy watching them wrestle. I'm glad that Asuka hasn't vanished. She's still been a player, and she's still been picking up wins during that time. Gotcha, Corey, gotcha. Corey has a number of pictures with Dolph Ziggler. If you're not already in Discord, where he posted it earlier, you can check his Twitter to find it. I'd imagine, Corey, your Twitter is at CoreyMLB. Oh, Jinders is so bad. These two have struggled a little bit. After their first match, which was clearly rehearsed quite well, they've struggled a little bit for chemistry, and it's shown. Hopefully the amount of matches they've had will help. It hasn't. The amount of matches they've had has not helped their chemistry. There are some people Rhea has great matches against, but there are also some people she just struggles to really get going against. I don't think she's an all-rounder. I think she has a certain amount of strength. And once she's out of that comfort zone, it's a bit of an issue. To be fair, at her age, that's not a big surprise. She's very young and very talented for her age as well. No, that was bad. Into the Octopus is good, though. I love an Octopus hold. So I'm a big Zack Sabre Jr. fan. At every moment, he's capable of throwing out an Octopus. It's a submission move to submission move here. Asuka, a great chain submission expert. Rhea and Shayna do. Chemistry can't be taught. It is what it is. Don't be surprised if you guys see me on TV on SmackDown. Told me I'm going to get the best seats and be on TV. Well, let us know what seats you get when you get them, mate. And we'll have a look. We'll definitely keep an eye out for you. Good question, Bailey. I'll put it on screen to see if anyone can answer it because I can't. Has Asuka ever had a series with EO? I would imagine she has. But I'm not an expert in that particular one. Matt says no. I would imagine he knows in this particular field. Noob also says no. Again, a massive Asuka fan. So definitely I would say experts in that one. Hello, Josh Robinson, mate. How the devil are you? How are you, sir? And what have you been up to? I did enjoy your prediction show for NXT TakeOver. Didn't get to watch too much of it because I was off out of my mother's birthday, but I left it on lurk to try and see if I can boost numbers a little bit for you. Ooh. Asuka might have lost another tooth there. Might have lost another tooth. Awkward. And Matt says they were partners in Japan. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Ed giving a shout out to Josh Robinson. Josh Robinson, by the way, does play wrestling games. He pushes Heidenreich. Got to be aware of that. Just be aware of that. Have a good think about it. Pushes Heidenreich. And also before pay-per-views, tends to do shows with Mags. Mags, who we've had here for a watch-along of the Royal Rumble way back when. So definitely someone that we will be checking out as well. So if you haven't already followed Josh, I highly recommend it. He is absolutely fucking hilarious. Matt says Asuka and EO have never had one-on-one matches. That explains that. Josh says doing well. Thanks for tuning in anytime. And says Heidi boy, because yeah, Heidenreich was a champion. So if there's any true believers in here, true believers of Heidenreich, Josh might be a guy. But I think, to be honest, those days are over now. I'll never get bored of it, but those days are indeed over. Would it be my follow-up? But Ed's already here, sharing a link in the chat that you can check out. Josh has a new video on Love Wrestling CA on YouTube this week, Legacy of Gail Kim. He has also posted that in the promotion section of our Discord for anyone in there. We are currently watching WWE Raw, and so far, it's not been bad. It's not been great, but it's not been bad. Got a lot of women's wrestling segments this week, like a lot. Basically, they've used all of the women they have and added another one because they suddenly realized they didn't have enough with Piper Niven appearing. I think the New Day versus RK Bro has definitely been the match of the night so far, but it's because it's the only match they've given time. All the other matches have been surprisingly short. Charlotte versus Nikki Cross was a means to an end. Both our women's champion and her number one contender, they've been made to look like losers. So honestly, I kind of expect Asuka to win here because Asuka unfortunately has that thing where she wins and it means absolutely nothing. Good old WWE. So it's very surprising. It didn't touch once in Survivor Series, but there was a rumor back in the day before Asuka and Io came to WWE that they had major hate with each other. Not something I've heard personally. Not something I've heard. And Noob said, yeah, this is why I tried to warn everyone that Asuka should have taken time off instead of continuing fighting. Now that Asuka will continue wrestling, I'm starting to worry about her. We knew that Asuka facing Rhea is a bad idea. I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea, particularly if she gets a win here. She's still being used and she's still picking up wins. It's a bit 50-50, yes, but she's still being treated like a big deal. And ultimately, if they can wheel her out at this point, she's a damn sight more entertaining than a lot of the lower down the card guys. So I'm okay with it, at least for now. I do think in the upcoming draft, she will be traded for Bayley, or at least that's me wishful thinking a little bit. A trade between Asuka and Bayley means that we get one more face over on SmackDown, and we get some brand new feuds. So the match between Asuka and Rhea Ripley is continuing. No sign of Charlotte Flair yet, but I think we all know it's just a matter of time. It does look like this match is straight up continued during the commercial break. That was brutal. I do like the simplicity. It's just a big kick, but it's a big kick that looks really good. You know, it's a big kick that looks really good. When in doubt, just give me a big kick that looks really good. Asuka is sitting on the top rope. And imagine this is a missile drop kick incoming. Ripley's going for the superplex. Asuka's not having any of it. Missile drop kick incoming. It's a good one. Bit of a glancing blow, but a good one. Asuka's definitely given as good as she gets. I don't think this is going to be a clean finish. I just don't. I can only imagine that Charlotte Flair is going to get involved in some way, because ultimately this isn't really adding to the storyline. A clean loss for Rhea Ripley, and Asuka should be in that match. Matt, you can also say that they're in the midst of a heated rivalry, and yet without any evidence of it, you can basically say anything. I think that's what you're trying to say there, yeah? That you can say anything, but we have no idea. We have genuinely no idea. So there's not much point speculating, really. Hip attack and a good landing. It's nice when a move goes straight into a pin. I like moves like that. A good Northern Lights suplex goes a long way. Literally, as I said that, Rhea Ripley a Northern Lights suplex. I didn't even mean Northern Lights, I meant Fisherman's. Like a perfect plex. Funny old world. They're keeping this very even, and honestly, I know early on it was a bit sloppy, a bit of a problem with chemistry, but they've gotten into their groove now. Asuka's playing the power card quite well. Long term, coming down to power, she won't be able to compete with Rhea Ripley. She's got to be clever about it, not overexert herself just yet. Going a bit kayfabe here. A good old yes kick. Ripley with the standard catch. Some very good looking knees to the face. Sloppy, sloppy. Someone call an audible. Oh. Good catch. See, this is a shame because they clearly just had a sloppy moment of miscommunication. Clearly. But that was really quite nice. Reversed again. Asuka going into another submission. She keeps going back to that well. She might need to focus on that power a little bit more. Asuka just with a headlock at this point. Goes for the kick, goes for the back fist. Oh, she's put her hand through. This is going to come down to a basically she accidentally beat herself situation, and indeed it does. Asuka essentially making a mistake. Rhea Ripley just got beaten up for about 15 minutes and survived. And there's Charlotte in heels again. Why would you wear heels when you're going to attack someone? Like, you know you're going to attack someone. Don't wear heels. I never wear heels when I'm going to attack someone. Do you see me wearing heels when I make a run-in? No. Ed says, I think that was the best match between them. I still value highly their WrestleMania match. I think because they had the extra preparation time, that worked out. And Matt is surprised that we got a clean win. Me too, to be completely honest. Me too. Not upset. Not at all. But me too. Okay, I think they're trying to give us a pull-apart brawl here. Jimmy Smith said they're clearing the back to stop this fight. They're kind of not. I mean, there's a few people, but we're not clearing the back territory just yet. Don't ask, Matt. Don't ask. This would be a good time to announce that they're going to fight in a cell. Fair from Megan. Heels can be useful if you intend to use them as a weapon. If you want to stamp on someone's eye or something, it'd be absolutely perfect. But that was Charlotte just, that was pointless with Charlotte just taking them off, which she did. Just wear flats. And it says, hell of a bodysuit on Charlotte. Oh, she's bleeding. Hurricane just got a hell of a hit. They are not showing Ripley's face. Something's gone at least a little bit wrong. Charlotte's attacking the official. Oh, nice from Ripley, right through the ropes. Charlotte doing some swearing. Charlotte's losing her shit. Where did the blood come from? Oh, she came from her nose. They're zooming in on blood. That's unusual for WWE. Charlotte, just embrace it. Just embrace it. I want a replay of that moment, whatever happened. I got to agree, Ed. You've landed on a pretty good show to cover. It has been 1 hour and 50 minutes, and finally, the WWE champion has appeared on screen. The blood isn't fake, Chelsea. It's nearly 2 hours, and our WWE champion finally appears on screen. It's not good, that. It's not good. possibly J-Dub. I don't think it's a break per se. The nose didn't look out of joint. It didn't look affected, but it was certainly bleeding. I think it's likely to be a strike across rather than a strike down. I don't think it was a break, but it was definitely a bloody nose. I'm starting to find it unlikely that the MVP Kofi Kingston moment from last week was leading to anything. I agree with that. Just got popped good, nothing too bad. I think Bobby Lashley might have some issues. That was a promo. Alexa Bliss is making her entrance. She's in Lily mode. It's full on Corpse Bride mode. With crowds coming back, the shelf life for Alexa Bliss in this particular incarnation is a very, very short amount of time. This is a pandemic era character. They've got to be careful with it. Megan says the two women in random colors feel off to me. I get what they're wanting to draw attention, but I don't like it. Doesn't fit with the organized nature of the her business in my mind. I'd agree, but to be fair, I also kind of get that they would want to hire flamboyant people to entertain. If you get my meaning. I mean, just like MVP hired them for Bobby. So they're not functional. They're not there to just do one job. They're there to serve many purposes. Don't want to go into any more detail. Matt says, at least it's not the closing segment this week. Ed also echoes those sentiments. Nice. Alexa is now not closing the show. Alexa Bliss is our second hour draw segment. And Bailey says, 4 women's matches in 2 hours. When's the last time that happened? I don't think it has, to be completely honest. I don't think it has. And I think it's telling that the show is much improved. I think it's telling. Ed, Alexa is a draw. There's absolutely no question. She has one of the highest draw potentials of anyone on the roster. She has done for a long time. Like her or not, Alexa Bliss is compelling TV. She's got an interesting character, even if it can grate at times. Yeah, it's jumped the shark for me, but there's still nothing like it elsewhere. It's a very unique character. She is, as we know, an extremely good talker, like an extremely good talker. And on top of that, she's always got the question mark of the Fiend hanging over her head. Now, admittedly, there are some really annoying aspects of this particular character, but right now, it's fine. Ed is saying, Charlotte, Nikki, Asuka, Rhea, Piper, Naomi. Yeah, we're about to start Alexa Nia. That's what he means. We're about to start Alexa Nia. At least they're not in the same color, depending on status. Don't need any of the Handmaid's Tale comparisons creeping in. Fair. I've seen far too many of them. Far too many. Oh, it's warm. It is 3 a.m. and it's warm and I don't like it. How warm is it? In fact, right there. 12%. Not 12%, you idiot. 12 degrees. 12 degrees. I think it said 12%. I got a Windows 10 update and now it gives me the weather as well. And that's nice, isn't it? Makes the whole thing slow down a little bit. But I get the weather, which is good because I also get it on my phone. This explains my technical issues. There is a thunder alert in progress. A thunder alert? What's a thunder alert, I hear you say? Not sure, but I imagine a warning of thunder. I knew you'd find somewhere to slip that in. That did not mean... Megan says, give me winter back. Don't like the heat. Also give me the Winter Soldier too. I'm not big on a lot of heat, but I'm also not big on a lot of cold. I like being a nice medium. I have watched episode 1, Chelsea. However, for the sake of spoiler warnings, I'm going to go ahead and not talk about it just yet. But I enjoyed it and I would recommend giving it a try. Right. Before we get to the match, we've got another moment between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. When did the hit happen? The thing I like in this sort of pull-apart brawl, the guys have no idea where to grab. No idea where to grab. Everyone's trying to get to the shoulders, like, okay, well, if we hold her by the shoulders. No, you grab her around the waist, you understand, and so does she, that there are some risks that come with that, and you pick her up. But I suppose they're supposed to be crap, so it works out. I've had to break up enough fights in bars. I know how it's done. Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler will be on the card this Sunday. It's been a while since we've seen Alexa wrestle. I can't imagine she's going to lose. For now, it is Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. And honestly, there's still time, Michael. There's still time. It seems less likely now, but still time. Rhea stood tall, Matt. Rhea stood tall. And I'd imagine she'll be winning at the pay-per-view. Nia Jax does not have Reginald with her. She does not have Shayna Baszler with her. And she doesn't really have the aura of a winner, despite being a recognized winner. She's been featured very, very strongly recently, but right now, she does not feel like a big deal at all. If anything, she seems afraid. This is an intriguing matchup. We need to see how Alexa actually wrestles now, particularly in the Lilith character. It's not bad at all. 5 women's segments indeed. Jill says, can't wait for fans to come back so they can cut the crap with this Lily thing, hopefully. Lily's not featured this week, mate. I suspect, given that fans are coming back, Lily, it just wouldn't work. There is a Lilified version of Alexa Bliss. She's in it now. She's very much in it now. She used it against Asuka a couple of times as well. There is a Lilified version of Alexa Bliss. Idea was, I'd imagine, that there were going to be costume changes. No costume changes now. You can't do costume changes live on TV. Can't really argue that point, Megan. This show's been mostly women, to be fair. I've enjoyed it. I think it's better. Nia just ran through Alexa. Alexa's playing dead. She did, Matt, but she was in a box and she wasn't in the match. That's the main difference there. If she was in the match, she wouldn't have been able to hide in the box and change her costume. Good shout, Chelsea. Good shout. That would have been a great time to do this. Alexa's just taking a beating right now. Every now and then she remembers to act, as it were. A lot of facial expressions. A lot of work there. Jesus. Nia Jax can just throw her about at this point. And I like that. Megan says, I like Alexa's look for this match. It's probably the only thing I like about this right now. I feel myself getting drawn in. With Lily out the picture, it's like they've jumped back across the shark again. The sit-up was good there. I like Corpse Bride Alexa. That was the right level for me. You know, if you got there, now stop there. That suits me fine. And that seems to be what they've come back to. I don't see her getting more pale. She started with a lot of pale makeup. Oh, hey, Reginald. Fair, Megan. Good shout. DDT. Nia Jax tried to oversell it. It didn't work. Going for a Twisted Bliss. Twisted Bliss. Reginald pulled her off. There's a lack of commitment here. Chelsea has hijacked for your favorite wrestler for Lily. So this is going to be 60 seconds talking about Lily. Lily was a doll. Lily was not a wrestler, but there is a lilified version of Alexa Bliss. That lilified version of Alexa Bliss is the same one that beat Asuka twice in a row, but was put down by Randy Orton. There is room for this. There is room for this version, the lilified version of Alexa Bliss. But once you go for the doll, I have completely lost any interest whatsoever. If you give me the Alexa Bliss who was beating Asuka, I am interested. If you give me a doll, y'all can go to hell. But right now, it just seems like there's a lot of playing around, a lot of wasting time, a lot of, oh, spooky. Who knows what's happening? We all know what's happening. The writing's bad. That's what's happening. And for someone who's genuinely a compelling character in the form of this version of Alexa Bliss, at least, any version of Alexa Bliss is at least somewhat compelling because she's constantly evolving. They just should be doing so much more. Oh, so okay. MVP and Kofi Kingston have run into each other again, but this time Xavier Woods ain't going nowhere. James says, I was late to the party. You're welcome because Raw is usually better when I am not watching. Fair enough. Did I miss anything exciting? Yeah. Yeah, it's been good. Sounds mate. I feel bad saying it, but it's the case. This has been a pretty good Raw. For me, this is probably one of the best Raws of the year. And it's mostly because it's been almost all women. Jeff Hardy nearly retired. There was a Jeff Hardy retirement match. Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley got into a pull-apart brawl. We had the New Day versus RK Bro. Bobby Lashley cut an amazing promo. Also, the doll's gone. Pretty good. Pretty good, right? Chelsea says, no way Reggie is possessed. Reggie's gone, mate. She wanted him. She got him. She wanted him. She got him. Kofi Kingston is just shrugging off MVP's conversation, which is the right way to go. Fair Ed, she's in timeout. She got in trouble. And Chelsea says, when Braun returns, how would you want him to return in a Rumble or a storyline? Probably bursting out the bottom of an Elimination Chamber. That's probably what I'd do, personally. The same way that Shawn Michaels did, just burst out the bottom of Elimination Chamber. It's Elias. This is a killer. This could make Raw a hell of a lot worse. Yep. We have a commercial break, and then it's Jackson Riker versus Elias. Yay. Damn it all to hell. I was getting enthusiastic. I was getting there. And now it's gone. Now it's all gone. Glad we had more Kofi and MVP stuff. I'm glad she's she. I'm glad Kofi is standing by what he said initially. It doesn't make sense to me that Kofi Kingston would turn on Xavier Woods about this, and certainly that he wouldn't turn on Big E. They were there for him the entire way. The entire way. Jill says this match should have been swapped for the Jeff Hardy. Doesn't deserve to be pre-main event. People may have turned off by now is the issue. The third hour is generally the least watched. I can feel the momentum sapping from Raw a little bit. But there's only 50 minutes left, and we do have McIntyre versus Styles coming. I'd imagine that'll kind of take up the last half hour. I find it interesting we haven't seen Shayna Baszler this week. I found that very interesting. Nia Jax stepped in for her, but where is she? Is that part of a promo that I've missed, for example? Stranger things have happened. But no Shayna Baszler, and we do have it confirmed Shayna Baszler and Alexa Bliss will face off at Hell in a Cell. We haven't had a backstage promo from AJ Styles yet, likely the next one. I'm not sure what you mean there, Ed. I don't understand. I do not understand. So yeah, no Baszler. And of course, Raw has kind of missed its biggest star. Lily the doll, not there. We've only seen Bobby Lashley the once. He's literally basically spent the last month sat backstage with some prostitutes. That's basically been his entire storyline. It reminds me of Brock Lesnar in the magazine. Just reminds me of Brock Lesnar in the magazine, just a little more physically active. Elias is alone in the ring, looking very, very ripped. Like very ripped. Like seriously ripped. Like those abs. It just. Anyway. Jackson Riker is making his appearance, and all of my body is screaming boo. Yep, they put in cheers for Jackson Riker. That's not going to work. You don't need to be that close in WWE, chill out. Okay, I missed that, and it sounds like it was fun. They can try and push Riker as much as they want. I'm never cheering for the guy. I'm never caring about the guy. He takes up the least amount of time possible in my reviews. I'm never even going to pretend to care about the guy, you know? I'm not going to. A wrestling match is happening. I might just check my emails, do something else. I don't know. Literally anything else. Why not Chelsea? Because he's a massive dick. Just a massive dick. It's one of those, when you know a little bit about the people that are actually doing this, you learn which ones you will never care about. Like, I don't think I could ever cheer for Big Cass. I don't think I could do it. No, I went there myself a little bit, Megan. I went there a little bit myself. I don't think there's a blue version of Jackson Riker, though. Oh, yeah, Bailey, definitely. I think it's also worth pointing out, it's just not a very exciting combination of people. Like, Elias has never been focused on during the entire pandemic era. Even before that, he was essentially getting pulled his pushes. In the meantime, Jackson Riker is just sort of Jackson Riker. I don't care. He has Jade up. He has. Something's irritating my nose. Well, that was short. Just walk away, Elias. You don't want to be involved in this. You do not want to be involved in this. No. I was worried there they were going to put Riker and Elias in Hell in a Cell. JW cursed, mate. Like, I'm genuinely worried. For those who don't know, JW makes Raw worse. Got it. Sorry, Ed, I missed it slightly because of the dual stream. Thank you for reminding me. 2 minutes ago. It just slipped behind the chat. Ed has redeemed a tell-off for Vince McMahon with a simple question. Why the bloody fuck would you think Riker is a babyface? Let's go for this one, Kat, shall we? Vince is in the chat, if you please. Vince, I know you're watching. And because I know you're watching, I know you'll hear me when I say, get to fuck. Let's consider the alternative, fuck you. Let's simplify this. You're currently feeding us Jackson Riker as a guy we're supposed to cheer. And Elias as a guy we're supposed to boo. And in my opinion, fuck off, basically. So when you actually sit down in front of your creative team and you're planning out everything you're going for, everything you're trying to put together, and you think to yourself, you know what's a great idea? Let's push this bastard. Consider instead the option of just fucking off. Consider instead improving what you're doing and being less of a bad Vince. I feel I got the right emotion you were looking for there, Ed. I feel I nailed it. So they are leaning into our main event with 40 minutes left to go. Now, admittedly, there's going to be 3 commercial breaks, but this is early. This is early. Now, here's the thing. Earlier today, during the preview show, I mentioned an option that Bobby Lashley might come down and attack Drew McIntyre, that Omos, AJ Styles, and Bobby Lashley might attack Drew McIntyre. And you know who might back McIntyre up? The Viking Raiders. I don't think we're going to get AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre. I think that will last maybe 10 minutes. And then what we'll actually get is a 6-man tag with the Viking Raiders and Drew McIntyre versus Lashley, Styles, and Omos. Which would explain why I've got 40 minutes. Yeah, I'll explain that. And certainly, I mean, if the match you're trying to push as your main event is Lashley versus McIntyre in Hell in a Cell, you might as well have them actually look at each other at some point, interact in some way. I didn't want to go there, Bailey, but I did have that thought as well. Does an early main event allow a close with Shane and Alexa? It does. Technically, it does. Jacob says, you didn't mention Piper Niven. I just saw your tweet. Yeah, I didn't mention that. Been an eventful show, mate. Things have happened. Like, a lot of things have happened. I can't sit here and say everything because I can barely remember. It's busy. Busy. There's definitely going to be at least 2 more commercial breaks, which will slow the momentum pretty much everything. Fair from Megan. Let's bring that one onto the screen. So I'm actually surprised we haven't had a backstage segment with a gloating Eva Marie. Very true. They didn't actually use Eva much at all, did they? She was there, and then she wasn't, and everyone just moved on with their lives. Just not much of a focus on her. I think she actually didn't even have any vignettes. Jadeb says, so do I dare ask how the Evolution debut was? Eva Marie was really secondary. Like, thinking back, we got nothing. Naomi got squashed by Piper Niven. Eva said, I win, and that's it. Yeah. Meg says, for all the hype she got, it just seems random for her to be barely featured. And she was. She really was. Just as someone's trying to beef you in the tweet comment. Where am I looking? Oh, Dave Dineza. Yeah, I'm just gonna move on. The thing is, I can see stuff, but I can rarely respond to stuff because my laptop struggles. So yeah, some people occasionally are like, why didn't you respond to me? I can't. The technology's not really working. And right now I'm using my phone to keep up with Twitch so I don't miss anything. Because the channel points have to go through Twitch, but they don't show up in StreamYard. So like, I'm glad Ed reminded me there because that would have been the only thing I've missed. It's hard to keep track sometimes. A lot happens. A lot happens. But I do the occasional tweet just to remind people I exist. As we're coming up to the main event, I'll be going on to Periscope in a minute. Just to finish the show off. After all, I did get as an extra follower yesterday. Periscope is what you go on to when you want everyone on Twitter to start watching the show. Best way to do it. Best way to do it. They're advertising NXT. No hints of Joe coming. Do you want me to, J-Dub? Because it's technically spoilers. It's technically spoilers. Not long now, mate. 47 more followers, though, so it might be a little bit longer. Might be a little bit longer. As it should be pointed, there is no mention of Brock Lesnar tonight from Drew or Bobby. I do think people put too much stock in, oh, someone has mentioned someone. Like someone's mentioned him. Bobby Lashley will take any opportunity to mention Brock Lesnar, to be fair. And we know that because he won't stop. They are running through the entire card. If we don't see Charlotte and Rhea Hell in a Cell now, then I think we can confidently say it won't happen. I think we can confidently say it will just be a straight wrestling match. No cell. Bliss versus Baszler. 3 women's matches. 3 women's matches. In fact, so far, is that 5 matches announced and 3 of them women? Are we going to have more women's matches than men's? That'll be rare. I'd imagine they'll announce Owens versus Apollo Crews at least. But we'll see. Bobby Lashley is making his entrance where he can oversee everything. How Drew McIntyre didn't see them setting up that entire seating arrangement there, I will never know. I will never know. Corey Graves is going to get in trouble if he doesn't shut up soon. That's a fair shout, Matt. I could see that happening as well. They're purely to distract Drew McIntyre, bless. I'm confident Bobby Lashley will get involved in some way, but how do you rip that suit off? Like that's a pretty tightly held together suit. AJ Styles is now making his entrance, trying not to hit anyone in the face while he does so. It's harder than it looks. One of the women just stroked AJ Styles. And he's just clearly, he's very clearly distracted by it. He's very clearly distracted by it. That is a married man. You are in trouble. Omos is fine though. He's coming. He's coming. There's a reason the Godfather was the most over person in the Attitude Era. That's all I'm saying. That's what their audience wanted. Oh, hang on. It says I want Omos's coat. Mate, you're sounding increasingly like me at times. Omos, to my knowledge, still has a bit of a hand injury. Not a massive one, but still a bit of one. This isn't a pimp version of Bobby Lashley. This is just a Bobby Lashley who doesn't much care. He's holding back. He's relaxed. When he gets when there's a mention of Drew McIntyre, he still turns it on. The pimp here is MVP. Bobby, he's focused. He's ready. Chelsea wants to see Swoggle versus Omos. Maybe one day we'll get Swoggle versus Braun. Not impossible. Don't think Braun's going back to WWE. And we are away. McIntyre's a huge fan of AJ Styles, requested several times to work with him. When Styles moved to SmackDown, McIntyre was one of the most upset. Styles clearly wins the power game. Sorry, no, did I say Styles? No, McIntyre definitely wins the power game. I love the late rotation and that back body drop. Interesting, Ed. That's a shame. Is an alternative that they have? Streamlabs, Zoom, Skype. Sorry to hear it. Megan says MVP isn't a pimp, he's a fixer. If he was a pimp, he would own the women, and I hope to the gods that's not the case. That's a fair comment. Basically, MVP is throwing Bobby Lashley an eternal bachelor party. He's a bro. That's the vibe I get. McIntyre just hit the DDT on AJ Styles and sat down to celebrate for a little bit. He's distracted by Bobby. Oh, and the suit's coming off. Omos has got involved. He's taking AJ Styles out of the firing line. Lashley's here. MVP's trying to slow him down a little bit. Oh, look! It's the Viking Raiders. Who saw this one coming? And they're dressed to wrestle. It's almost like we're about to have a 6-man tag. Sometimes, guys, I even surprise myself by saying moderately obvious things that I think almost anyone could have guessed. Good times. It's almost like they heard me. Yeah, we mentioned this one in the preview show earlier today. Vince was listening. That's true, Chelsea. we do know for a fact that Vince does watch these shows. I'm confident in a couple of hours I'll get a message. I'll get an email from Vince and he'll be like, "Watch your show earlier. The hype train was real." You know? He'll be proud of me and he'll be like, "That was a really good moment for you. You had a great time. You got some good crowd." But then he'll remember his Vince McMahon and then he'll be like, "Okay, I saw what you did there. So I'm going to do now is I'm going to bury you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get Dolph Ziggler. He's just going to pile up the dirt right on top here because you had a good day. That's not allowed. You got over without me. That's not allowed." Standard stuff. Standard stuff. It's Vince McMahon. He don't know what he's doing. Ooh, there's a new Ryan Reynolds movie. I very much enjoyed Detective Pikachu. What can I say? Okay. I can do that. God damn it, Matt. I didn't need that. I didn't need that. Oh, I mean, well played. But I didn't need that. The internet's a strange place. They've got a lot of stuff, most of which I never need to see. And yet, there it is. I think it's starting to a light outside. I was going to make a joke about Vince calling Boris to extend the COVID restrictions, but this might be the wrong time for that. You got to pick your moment. Hello, Edders. How are you doing, sir? Edders has come in and subscribed at tier 1. That's 3 months of subscription so far, saying hello and regards from rainy Bogota. Didn't know it was raining, mate. We got a thunder and lightning warning here, to be honest with you. Welcome to the show, man. You're coming a bit late, but Raw's been really good this week. I've genuinely enjoyed it. A little bit obvious in places, but still great fun. How are you, Edders? Been a while since we've seen you stream. Hopefully we get to see you back again soon, but hopefully you're good. Hopefully you're not too busy. Hopefully you still get a chance to relax every now and then and play some Falling Guys. Thank you for your subscription. Much appreciated. Visiting the missus in Colombia until the end of the month. It must be lovely there. Other than the fact that, as you say, it's rainy, but it must be lovely. It's just a wonderful place, you know? Just in the world, just a wonderful place. That says not a 6-man yet. That's true. Still time. Still time. This looks like it's a match in several phases. AJ Styles, as I've mentioned, does like matches in phases. He's from the Bret Hart school. We talked about this at length yesterday. If you haven't seen the NXT watch party with myself and Ed Fries, we spoke at length about Bret Hart. Styles is from that class. The concept of wrestling in phases, wrestling in segments. So maybe this is just part 2 of 3 or 4. Or it may be that they're just planning to have a massive brawl at the end of everything. Megan says, Eva's tweeted that Piper is her protege. No mention yet of a name change, thankfully. Yeah, the name was awful. The name was awful. Styles is old school. Yeah, that's... Yeah. The Bret Hart school. It's basically what happens when you combine Bret Hart's brain with Shawn Michaels' body. You get AJ Styles. And I mean that in a lot of different ways. It'll be interesting to see what kicks off the next commercial break, I'll tell you that. Bobby Lashley's holding his championship just next to commentary. He's not on commentary, he's just next to commentary. Is it back, Megan? Is it back? Very true, Ed. It's not Michael's penchant for being a dick earlier in his career. That comes down to the brain, to be fair. Then again, Brett did have his moments. He did have his moments. I think I can't imagine AJ Styles being young anymore. You know, I can't imagine it. It's AJ Styles. He's always been this age. A slightly grizzled vet. Not very grizzled, but slightly. And it says Jimmy Smith is killing it. Feels like he belongs here and works great with Corey and Byron. Can feel the chemistry. Corey Graves did not like Adnan Virk. He did not like Adnan Virk. And Ed also went in the comments on Eva's tweet. You guys got to be careful with that. You can't keep risking it. You're just doing damage to yourselves long term. Look after yourselves, guys. Look after yourselves. Don't look at Eva Marie's comments. People are dicks. And not in a good way. Like we've just said about Shawn Michaels and the dickishness he had. And my God, that man had a lot of dickishness. But I tell you what, he wouldn't have insulted someone on the internet. He'd have said it right to their face. So that there was plausibility. And then someone would probably have punched him in the face. And then he would have lost his smile because it's Shawn Michaels. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. What we have right now is McIntyre versus Styles. There is a 6-man tag brewing on the outside. All the pieces are there, apart from one fact, and that's the fact that Bobby Lashley is wearing a big-ass suit, and that will be difficult to take off. I think that's the only thing that keeps it from being a 6-man tag right now, to be honest. I have just gone live on Periscope for this here main event and for our last 20 minutes or so, so a few new names. Anyone who has joined on Periscope, we do weekly watch-alongs for Raw and SmackDown, as well as news shows. We did Spoiler Warning earlier today at 10 p.m. British Standard Time, and we also do gaming content on Tuesdays and Thursdays at twitch.tv/Tom Collihue. If you head on over there, you will be able to join the party and get notification every time we go live with a lot of wrestling news and a lot of good crowd. Matt says, I don't think we see Shane tonight. We definitely won't. It's too late now. And Megan says, it's okay. I went on Instagram and found Falcon and the Winter Soldier filming pics. I'm good now. That's usually the best way to calm down. Best way to calm down is just to look at Sebastian Stan. It's to stand Sebastian Stan. If you can stand Sebastian Stan, you'll be all chilled out. Omos has already removed his big jacket. He's spooling for a fight. The Viking Raiders came down in their wrestling gear. That is a lovely deadlift suplex. Drew made it look like a brain buster there, which is even better. Like, I have absolutely no complaints. Absolutely none. There are 0 tag matches, Matt. To be fair, when it comes to the match card for Hell in a Cell, there's only 5 matches. 3 of them are women, so it's not really a big surprise that the women have been featured so much on Raw tonight. Raw hasn't actually been bad. Like, if anyone who's just jumped in via Periscope wants to tell me I'm wrong here, you are welcome to do so. But Raw's been pretty good. Enjoyed it. Fair enough, Megan. I forgot to mention Anthony Mackie. Have you seen Anthony Mackie in Black Mirror? Have you seen that? Because you may enjoy that. You never know. Maybe this brewing 6-man, as it were, ends with Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders getting onto the pay-per-view card. It certainly isn't looking like it at the minute. It's looking like it's going to be a 5-match card, and that's it. Ed says it's been a 3.5 out of 5 show. You took all your notes, Ed. You took all your notes. And now you unfortunately don't get to enjoy them. So sorry. So sorry. Let's see. Jacob says it's been good, especially since I arrived. Yeah, it turns out you're actually not cursed. I was worried about you. I was absolutely confident that you were cursed. And then as it turns out, not on your life. It's absolutely fine. Bobby Lashley's just tried to get involved. McIntyre's seen him off at the pass. He's staring down MVP. Lashley won't take that lying down. Fair enough, Ed. Fair enough. Not sure what you mean in there, Matt. McIntyre with a kip up. There's Lashley in the ring. There's the Viking Raiders. There's our 6-man. We've got another commercial break, I'm sure. And then we enter phase 3. You can tell AJ Styles and probably TJ Wilson have been producing this one. The Heart Dungeon heavily involved. Lashley taking a beating from 3 men there. Took quite a bit to take him down, and he's not quite down all the way. Not quite down all the way. Still got some power behind him. Just glanced at the Discord again. I saw that picture, Matt. It's just, I'm never gonna cheer Jackson Riker. It's not gonna happen. It's absolutely not gonna happen. But they will insist on pushing people that I'm definitely not gonna cheer. Admittedly, it was only like 3 minutes, so I'm absolutely fine with it. Lance702 is here. Welcome, Lance. Just dropping in near the end of the show, saying, Tom, have you seen the prices for SummerSlam? Crazy. I have not, actually, Lance. Can you tell me a little bit more? Can you tell me a little bit more? Matt, the reason there is a Naomi Deserves Better hashtag is because they know WWE doesn't care. That doesn't mean they should be quiet about it. To be fair, at WrestleMania, the planned main event for night 1 was Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. Then the fans started a hashtag. And it worked. So you can, no offense as much as you want, they can keep making whatever hashtags they need to do to express their frustration because people will listen. Kofi Mania was a hashtag. Lance says, I can touch the roof of the stadium for $50. Floor seats go upwards of $5K. Jesus Christ. No wonder they're not selling. Wow. That is a lot of money. Guessing they're expecting a lot bigger demand than they're going to get. Oof. Of course, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Of course they are. Of course they are. What a ridiculous world we live in. We have another commercial for Hell in a Cell. I just want to get back to the 6-man tag, but I honestly, we've had 2 commercial breaks. I think we're probably going to have another one. Let's be honest. Reckon we're probably going to have another one. Right, okay. Today was like the friends and family sale. Code got out. Like 90% is gone already. Of course, the code got out. There's always got to be someone spoiling it, hasn't there? I'm willing to bet money the code got out to someone who's going to sell a load of tickets to Ticketmaster. Because people are dicks. We've been over this. People are massive dicks. Horrible world. Horrible world we live in. But that's a lot of money. Lots of money. We are into our final 15 minutes. And we've got another commercial, but this time for SmackDown. Jesus Christ, WWE. Can you just get on with it, please? I'd like to see some wrestling today. Matt thinks he can see the New Day getting involved. I think that will muddy the water. So I'm confident this will end with some sort of brawl between Lashley and McIntyre. Makes the most sense to me. I'd imagine right now Lashley's getting changed into his wrestling gear. Probably just in front of everyone. I mean, that'd be nice to see. If the cameras could come back like now, that'd be great. No. Oh, I missed a message from Megan, which is a lot of M's. A lot of M's. God. Right, yeah. Only Black Mirror I've seen is Bandersnatch. Bandersnatch was lovely. I really enjoyed Bandersnatch. Mostly because I saw the story I wanted, and it was like, do you want to rewind and try again? No, I'm good. I'm absolutely fine. Good times. But yeah, Striking Vipers features Anthony Mackie, and it's fun. It's fun. There are some very good episodes, but yeah, you got to be careful with them. Don't eat while watching Black Mirror. If anyone hasn't watched Black Mirror, don't eat while watching Black Mirror. Just don't do it to yourself. Fair enough, Michael. You have a great time. We'll see you later. Did Lashley just leave? Is he hurt? Did something go wrong? And they've gotten rid of all the chairs and everything, and what, Lashley just left? Interesting. He was getting changed. He was getting changed. He had the wrong gear. The wrong gear. See, that's the beauty of it. We knew he'd have to get changed because he was wearing a full damn suit, and it takes forever to put those things on and take them off again. I know. If you guys remember the Hall of Fame ceremony, I put on a big damn suit for you guys, and it was beautiful. We rated everyone's suits, and I believe we decided that Randy Orton looked. No, John Morrison. John Morrison had the best suit. Him and his dripstick. Hello, Wrestle Story. Hello and welcome. I thought you'd be doing a watch along today, but I did see earlier you were unable to do so. A shame, a shame. I occasionally send people over to Wrestle Story. For anyone who isn't aware, Wrestle Story is a father and daughter duo who do stream watch-alongs on both YouTube and on Twitch as well. Not able to do it this particular day. Not sure as to the reasons there, but if you're interested in an alternative option, you've certainly got an alternative option there. They always do a wrap-up afterwards, so I've sent a couple of raids there as well for anyone who does know the name. Matt says Cesaro wore his gear underneath his suit. Maybe Lashley didn't. It was just the wrong gear. Maybe it was too warm. Who can tell? Omega says we should have been tailoring tips from Angel Garza. He should have been tailoring tips from Angel Garza. Quick change. Yeah, just wear a suit that you can rip off. When in doubt, just wear a suit that you can just completely rip off. Go full. What's his name? I forgot his name. Oh, what is it? I can't remember his name. I feel like a really bad New Japan fan. Like a terrible New Japan fan. He was a champion a little while ago. Forgotten it. It's gone. It's gone. But basically, always wear tearaway pants. Gotcha. Had a birthday for one of the kids. Fair enough. Welcome to the show. Welcome. We're currently watching a 6-man tag of what at the end of what's been a moderately good Raw. I feel I can very fairly say this Raw has been good, especially when you consider right now we've got Ivar in the ring with Bobby Lashley. This is an elevation for your tag team challenges. When you talk about making new stars, firstly, you're getting AJ Styles back into the mix with this. But in addition, sorry, that Spinebuster's glorious, isn't it? Oh, that running knee sort of landed way more than it should have. Way more than it should have. Omos tagged in. Checks with the ref because he didn't actually tag. There was no tag involved. Oh, I know, Ed, right? It's saying Ivar versus Lashley. Give it to me for the title. Could be fun. Could be fun. But now we've got Omos in the ring. And if you'll remember when Omos was the big ninja back in the day, Eric really wanted to give it a shot. That's another commercial break. That is another commercial break. These are pissing me off. Or is it BT Sports has gone dark? Anything? You wanna work? No? It's just gone dark. don't right know what's going on there, so I'm just going to restart it, just in case it's me. You never can tell. All else fails, it's a commercial break when I come back. The Wrestle Story says, I would say it is better than it has been, which is fair when you consider how bad it's been for the past few weeks. The lack of Lily was very, very good. Very good. I didn't want Lily. That was not a good thing. But I'm glad we've finally seen some focus on the women's division. We've had a lot of women's matches, which is good because going into Hell in a Cell, it's more women's matches than men's. We should have had a lot of women's matches. It's like they suddenly remember they have women. Use of Eva Marie was very brief. That was confusing. I found a Piper Niven. I've, like I say, I've got audio from an interview I had with her that you guys can check out at some point. Even just a brief moment at the end where we're talking about the pins on her jacket. Good times. Good times. Oh, you always make long rants, noob. Tonight's Raw is good, but the women's matches are random. From Nikki Cross beat Charlotte by countout, consistent with the story, though, to be fair. To Alexa versus Jack's match is meh. That was a storytelling match. I get what you're saying. Reginald featured a bit too much for me. But I'm surprised that an NXT UK star and Piper Niven debuted tonight. But no offense to the other Asuka fans. I know that they're upset about Asuka's booking, but they need to stop taking it too seriously. Not buried or ruined. This is why I stopped following Asuka fans, because they're afraid Asuka is getting buried. I find a lot of fans are really radical. And by radical, I mean your favorite is either being pushed or buried. It's not the case. Buried is not what people think it is. To be buried is to literally have your brand damaged intentionally. Asuka's brand is not being damaged. Not at all. Not whatsoever. Naomi's has been today. Naomi got squashed. That wasn't a great look, but we are where we are. It says, Eric's okay, but Ivar's cuter as the old meme, right? Yeah, something like that. It's like, Ivar, you're cute. Eric, not so much. I think that's what it was. Alexa Bliss still had some spooky bullshit, but not the same level of spooky bullshit. As I say, this Alexa, I don't mind. I'm actually quite behind. Like the Corpse Bride Alexa Bliss, I'm there for that. It's the Enchanted Doll Alexa Bliss I don't care about. That's jumped the shark for me. No interest whatsoever. No interest whatsoever. Seeing quite a bit of negativity on Twitter, but that doesn't really surprise me. It's rare that you find positivity on Twitter, let's be honest. I think we can all agree on that one. Now, it may just be simple confirmation bias because, yeah, last week was way worse than this. But I don't know. I didn't mind this one. I also think it helps that Charlotte Flair had some colour. There's been a lot of recaps and there's been a lot of commercials during the action. And I specifically mean like the WWE just took a SummerSlam commercial in the middle of their main event. That I get that you need to advertise and all, but this 40 minutes, they set up for this 40 minutes ago, and I think in total we've seen about 15 minutes of actual wrestling. Don't think he wants to, Noob. Noob says, I wonder if Drew McIntyre can make a faction comprised of Scottish wrestlers. I don't necessarily think that's a good move. That said, I'd imagine the talent's there. Piper Niven, Kaylee Ray. Talent's there. I think Piper Niven's Scottish. Yeah, I'm confident. Bobby Lashley has a rest hold on Ivar. There is 5 minutes left until the end of Raw. And we're in a rest hold. I'm not there for that. You need to pick up the tempo and you need to do it fast. I would imagine the hot tag will be to Drew McIntyre. They do Wrestle Story, they do. Unfortunately on Raw, it feels like there's 3 or 4 minutes of commercials every 10. Over here in the UK, it's a very different experience. We have a 5-minute commercial break every 15. That's how we work. That's how we've always worked. Every 15 minutes, you have a 5-minute commercial break. So if you're watching an hour-long TV show, you have 3 commercial breaks at 15, 30, and 45. That's how it's always been. In my brief time in America, I realized that's not how things work at all. I remember watching an episode of Modern Family and realizing that they do the credits, then a commercial break, then the clip at the end. But then there's no commercial break between each show. It's a confusing world we live in. AJ Styles is now tagged in against Ivar. Hang on. This is going to sound confusing, but I need to look at Omos's arse. Because I'm pretty sure I just saw a Seth Rollins logo on it. I'm pretty sure that's a Seth Rollins logo. That's the Seth Rollins logo. By Brit Scottish from Ayrshire Light Drew. Got it. It's just a case of remembering. Like I say, I've met her and at some point talked about it. Lance says, disastrous way to end the show, cure for insomnia. Wow. But yeah, it's lost all momentum. Basically, the last hour has just been a huge slowdown. Jacob says, interested to know if people think Omos will have any longevity in WWE. If they keep working like this, I think it's the right way to go. Because he's very rarely used. We knew there'd be a stare down between he and McIntyre. We knew that. And Bailey says, so far, this isn't the best finish for a go-home show. To be fair, WWE doesn't really look at Raw as a go-home show anymore. Because SmackDown's 2 days before their show, they put all of their focus into SmackDown. All of it. Wrestle Story says they should not have brought Piper in with Eva Marie. Would you have preferred Eva Marie to wrestle herself, or would you prefer someone else to come in for it? What's your opinion on that? Meng says the logo is similar, but it's not the same. I haven't had a good look. Wasn't able to have a good look. I just need a good look at his arse. That's all I need. Is that so much to ask? Just let me look at your arse. This is the sort of high-class content you should expect from a Tom Colohue watch party. Lance's famous last words. Oh, a pull of the hair. Nicely done. Lashley and Omos. Ideal. There we go. Eric going straight after the big guy. Apparently not able to do much of anything about it. That's the Viking Raiders eliminated. Logically, Lashley at this point comes in and finishes off McIntyre. Lashley seems thrilled with developments. Oh, Claymore. McIntyre gets the pin and the win. Lashley seemed very distracted by the fact that he was tagged in. You're the WWE champion. Get used to it. That's probably all McIntyre's going to get because he's not winning an LS, I'll tell you that. Okay, I'm worried about what they're saying here. Corey Graves saying he was trying to get a tag to his partner Omos. I don't know if he missed. It sounds like you're trying to say that AJ Styles couldn't tell the difference, and I don't like that. Corey Graves has moved on now. Good call. Good call. Ed just says, I love Omos. His facial expressions have really improved. Like, his acting's very much improved. And the Wrestle Story says, Eva Marie should have wrestled by herself. They could have brought Piper in to interfere with Charlotte and Rhea, put her on the main stage immediately as a beast. I get what you're saying there, but when it comes to SummerSlam, at least, it looks pretty set that it's going to be Alexa Bliss versus Rhea Ripley. Piper never coming in, that would set her on the main stage. But ultimately, if she interferes in that match, then she's going to lose to Charlotte and she's going to lose to Rhea. They very rarely bring someone on at the top level, especially when Rhea is still struggling to establish herself. So I get what you're saying, but personally wouldn't go that way. Thank you, J-Dub. I'll check that out in just a moment. Shoppers Drug Mart, fair enough. A pharmacy drugstore in Canada. Wow, interesting. Interesting. But Raw has officially concluded. Ladies and gents, it is 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning. And at this point, I think the logical thing to do is wrap it all the way up. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to do a raid over here on Twitch. On YouTube, the show will just be ending. But over on Twitch, there is someone I'd like to raid. Someone who's just reached 50 followers, but has not yet reached affiliate. They're currently playing WWE 2K14. They're a British streamer, just started out. I'd like to see if I can give them a bit of a boost and a bit of support if I can. So let's send them a raid over. Got it. Got it. Apologies if you can hear swearing away. But let's send that over and wrap it up for now, because ultimately 4 a.m., very, very late in the day. Very, very late. And I think ideally, great time to go to bed. Great time to go to bed. I think that's very much the plan. Guys, it's been fantastic. It's been a hell of a day. Thank you so much for your generosity earlier. Thank you everyone who has jumped in. A few new names, a few new faces, and a few people who I just haven't had much chance to really talk to so far. I'll have to send some DMs out to people that I haven't actually spoken to all that much, because I'd like to get to know quite a few of you a little bit more. A big good night to everyone. Please do stick around for the raid if you can. And if you're currently watching on YouTube, there will be no raid. It will just all be ending over there. For now, I'm going to come off, leave an image there until the raid happens. Big thank you to everyone. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. UK time, and that is 3 p.m. EST for our gaming stream. That is Football Manager, and I look forward to seeing you there.